Broadcasting more than 2,000 games live and archived in 15 sports in over 10 counties in western Pennsylvania, as well as being the exclusive home for all the WPIAL playoffs and championships for nearly 2 decades. Anytime, anywhere, always there. We are the new Triblive High School Sports Network.
Welcome to exclusive coverage of the 2017 WPIAL Football Championships here on the Triblive High School Sports Network. This afternoon, a new champion will be crowned in WPIAL's Class 1A as the Jeannette Jayhawks take on the Imani Christian Saints. The road to RMU at tribhssn.triblive.com is sponsored by UPMC Sports Medicine, by Carlow University, by AstroTurf, by Dollar Bank, by Chick-fil-A Robinson, by WQED, by Gateway Health, and by Trib Total Media. Now let's head out to Joe Walton Stadium at Robert Morris University and join Ed Troup and Mike Azadian for all the action.
It's been 10 years since the Jeannette Jayhawks have last wore WPIAL football gold. And for the Imani Christian Saints, in their only 3rd year of their program, they have an opportunity this afternoon as well to hoist and put up the WPIAL championship banner in their neck of the woods. Ed Troup alongside my partner this afternoon, Mike Azadian. And Mike, we have a good one on tap here today from RMU. It's Joe Walton Stadium here at the University, Robert Morris University campus, and a rematch of a game that took place earlier this year back in week 4 between Jeannette and Imani Christian, a game which Jeannette won 54-36 at historic Graham Field in Wilkinsburg. But that game had a lot of things going on, a lot of extracurricular activities.
Yeah, it was a little bit crazy in the heat, and the players got into it, and the fans threw water bottle at each other, and they had to stop the game, and a lot of penalties. And let's just face it, that both of these teams, if they want to win, are going to have to hold their emotions in check. I got a feeling that the referees early on are going to call anything that's nonsense, and if a team decides that they're going to be belligerent and hit late and do things like that, that they're going to lose this game. I think the team that can control their emotions can win. Both of these teams have a lot of stars. Both of these teams have a lot of talent. Both of these teams have a pedigree of some impressive wins, but I really believe this game is going to end sway on emotion, either side.
The Imani Christian Saints are 11-2. They're their 4th seed coming in. They finished 2nd place in the Eastern Conference after being tied with Jeannette and Clarendon with the same record. This is a program that just started 2 years ago. The school's only since 1993 in existence out of Swissville, Pennsylvania, and their head coach, Ronnie Hurd, has his team rolling into the playoffs. First round, they beat Stowe Rocks 52-0. Quarterfinals, they beat Olsh 20-12, and last week they upset the number 1 seed, California, 30-24.
Yeah, they did. You know, they held Jelani Stafford, their star back. We'll get to this more after the national anthem.
We'll pause for the singing of the national anthem here from Robert Morris University. the singing of the national anthem this afternoon by Emma Gragan from Burgettstown High School. She's a junior and did a fantastic job. And, Mike, back to our point about how the Saints got here.
Yeah, they held Jelani Stafford, the big back from Cal, who dominated in single way all year long, to 26 yards on 8 carries. It was their defense more than anything, but they have a lot of talented players quickly before the kickoff. They have their quarterback, Tawan Wesley, who was 15 of 20 the other night, but he had some injury problems. And Israel Reed, you'll see him anyway. He came in 6 of 7 for 128 yards, really did well. They throw to Ray Jackson. They throw to Sam Fairley. They throw to R.J. Hart, a transfer from Plum. They also have Asante Watkins, who's a terror on both offense and defense. Word has it he may be going to UConn, but I've heard that there's some other programs looking at him, and he may have not decided yet. You got to remember, both of these teams win by revenge. Of course, Imani Christian beat Cal, who beat them earlier. Jeannette beat Clareton, who beat them earlier, and now Imani Christian's trying to revenge a game from earlier. And that's a theme throughout the WPIAL playoffs, pretty much in every classification but one. And on the other side of the ball, quickly, Jeannette, we've got Robert Kennedy at wide receiver, 2 big catches last week, an interception return TD as well. And Seth Howard, only his second game starting at quarterback, he had 82 yards rushing and 101 passing last week.
And we are underway. Trey Cunningham, the kicker for Jeannette, gets a bounce all the way down to Ray Jackson, picks it up for Imani Christian. He brings it up across the 25, up across the 30-yard line before being tackled and downed at the 34. And that is where the Imani Christian Saints will go on offense for the first time today. Again, this 11-2 team defeated back in Week 4 by Jeannette, 54-36, looking for revenge here this afternoon.
And the big thing about them is they're very, very fast, as Jeannette is. Look for them to go to the outside. Look to them to throw high over the middle early. They do it all the time. Their big bugaboo is turnovers and penalties. If they could stay away from that, I think they got a good chance here today.
Tawan Wesley is the starting quarterback. Number 8, we'll also see Israel Reed throughout this afternoon for the Saints. Wesley, 6'1", 175-pound senior in shotgun formation. 1st and 10, airs it out over the right side, little screen pass. Goes to Ray Jackson. Jackson cuts it across the 35, 40, still on his feet. 45 dances to the 50 to midfield, and a great pickup on first down, close to 18 yards as it's Wesley to Jackson.
And this is what they do. They use their speed, and there's a 3-man front for Jeannette. Jeannette's got 5 guys in the linebacker. 2 guys as defensive backs. They take advantage of that. No pressure, and they get a quick out pass. And they like to move the ball. They like to get to the receivers to the left or the right.
Ball to the 49 of Jeannette, where it'll be 1st and 10 Saints once again. Wesley, same formation, shotgun formation, back to pass, throws across the middle, has a receiver in and out of the hands, incomplete, as it was intended for R.J. Hart just across the 40. It'll be 2nd and 10.
You know, this game has the possibility of being a pinball machine, Ed. I mean, this could be a game where we see another 50-34 game or something similar, because both of these teams can score. No pressure on Wesley at all in the first 2 plays, but he's got rid of the ball quick.
Ball at the 49 of Jeannette. The Jayhawks, by the way, they get here by beating Monessen in the first round, 49-0. Rochester in the quarterfinals, 30-26. And, of course, beating Clarendon last week, the number 2 seeded Clarendon Bears, 18-7. So the Saints face a 2nd and 10. Ball at the 49 of Jeannette. As Wesley takes the ball, he bobbled the snap but falls on it, tackled immediately. He'll go nowhere. Late flag comes in as the tackle was made by Anthony Johnson, the junior, 6'5", 205 defensive lineman for the Jayhawks.
Yeah, that time they got some pressure. And, on the turf, he was able to get a good bounce, and they lose some yardage. But, the big story in this game, and you know this as well, we got the official text from Mr. Rebel this morning. If Jeannette wins today, they will be tied all-time with Newcastle with 734 wins tops in the WPIAL. And if they do win today and then win again next week in the state playoffs, they will be the all-time WPIAL leader. So that's something to keep in track of. Other teams on that list, Aliquippa third, Greensburg, Salem, Washington, Clareton, Monessen, Rochester, Beaver Falls, McKeesport, Beaver, all teams with a long, long history in the WPIAL.
And you have a historic Jeannette Jayhawk team winning their first WPIAL championship in football back in 1939, going for the 8th here today. So it was a personal foul against the Jeannette Jayhawks. I guess it was the hit. Wesley was down, Mike, and they still came in. Johnson hit him, fell on him, and they get him for a personal foul. That'll move the ball up to the Jeannette 42-yard line and a first down for the Imani Christian Saints.
That's one.
And now it'll be on the outside. It's Asante Watkins, and Watkins gets down to about the 41. He'll pick up a yard. Not much running room there. Closed quickly for the Jeannette Jayhawks, and number 58, Jalen Jones.
Yeah, they came short side there, and Jeannette did a good job of coming around the end. Robert Kennedy was one of the guys there, and Well, like Kennedy, he hits him and stands right above him and looks at him. You know there's going to be a lot of talk on the field. There's probably a lot of jabbering, and we've already had one personal foul called, and it's against Jeannette. We'll keep track of that.
So Asante Watkins now in the Wildcat formation takes the football up the middle to the 40. He stood up there, but his power will get him forward towards the first down marker. As it was 4th and 2, they went for it, and they pick up the first down, do the Saints, as they get the ball down to the 37-yard line.
You know what? I've seen this team 3 times. Saw them in the playoff game against Stowe Rock. Saw them against California and saw them against Riverview. And I tell you what, Asante Watkins is, in my opinion, he is a difference maker. I mean, I think he's better defensively than he is offensively. If he does on defense what he's done the two previous times, he is a terror. And he's one of those guys that's not afraid to get hit and be hit and hit.
Wesley back at the quarterback position. 1st and 10, 10:02 moving first quarter clock. We are scoreless as Watkins takes the handoff. He'll go across the 35 down to the 34 for a gain of 3 on first down.
And you know what? 4 yards, you'll take it. I mean, they prefer more, bigger plays, but sometimes you've got to draw that defense in to open up the passing game. And Watkins shifted left, went right, and I believe got about 4 yards on the play.
By the way, today's first kickoff here in the first half, Craftsman, sponsored by Craftsman's, truly driven by your ideas, custom furniture and cabinets, all kinds of remodeling. Call Gourmet Woodwork in Monroeville at 412-715-3984. Check them out online at gourmetwoodwork.com. Back to pass on 2nd down and 7. Off to the left side, no, going to go up the middle, and Jeannette all over the play defensively. The Jayhawks not fooled at all as they brought the pressure. Leading the tackle that time was number 54. That's Cameron Fellbaum, the sophomore, 6'1", 212-pound defensive lineman.
Yeah, Ian Smith was there as well. It was a blitz. There were 4 guys in the backfield before he could do anything. There was a receiver open. I believe that Sam Fairley was open down the middle, but he didn't have time to throw. Good blitz, good call on defense by Jeannette. As they surrounded him, and he had no room to move, couldn't even get rid of the ball. He had to tuck and duck and takes a 7-yard loss.
3rd down and 12 for the Saints. Ball at the 39 of Jeannette, 8:44 scoreless first quarter. As Wesley takes the snap, back to pass, right at midfield, airs it out deep off his right side, looking for a receiver, and it's almost intercepted, but it falls incomplete as the coverage was by Jackson Pruitt, and it'll be 4th down for the Saints.
Underthrown, not a good throw, number 1. Number 2, he had all kind of time, but he threw in the coverage. And then that's the thing. Jeannette brought the pressure last time, didn't have the coverage, didn't need it. This time they had the coverage, but good pressure, good defense by Jeannette. They bent a little bit, but looks like Imani's going to have to punt here. And if things go the way they want, they should pin Jeannette back unless there's a good return.
Ray Jackson will punt the ball away for the Saints. It's Robert Kennedy, the talented Robert Kennedy for the Jeannette Jayhawks, back deep to receive the punt. He stands back at his own 10. It's a line drive kick by Jackson, and Kennedy will let it soar into the end zone for a touchback, and that's where the Jeannette Jayhawks will go on offense for the first time here today with a scoreless first quarter.
You know what? That's a smart play. You don't want to – in this game – if you're going to kick to either Imani or Jeannette's special teams guys and give them a chance to return in a close game, you're crazy. I would not kick to anybody. Kick it away. Take the yardage. They got him at the 20 and play defense. I really believe that that's a smart play.
Absolutely, Mike. I agree with you. I mean, these teams put up a heck of a lot of points back in that Week 4 game. Again, Jeannette winning that game 54-36 in Wilkinsburg at Graham Field. But here we go in the WPIAL Class 1A championship game. Seth Howard starting at quarterback. He's under pressure. Sacked in the backfield at the 12-yard line as the pressure came from number 4, Brian Yates, a junior, 6'2", 210-pound linebacker.
How about the defense for both of these teams already? And again, quick, athletic guys all around. I mean, you got a couple of big linemen that aren't fast, but I mean, some of these linebackers and even defensive linemen quick. And Howard was on the run from the time he got the snap. So the offensive line for Jeannette broke down quick. That's something they're going to have to fix because if Imani can take advantage of that, look out.
We got to talk about Seth Howard. This is his 2nd career start, and it comes in the Class 1A championship game. More on that in a little bit. We'll see Robert Kennedy, a quarterback today, too, who's been the starter most of the year. Seth Howard on the keeper, takes it up the middle, nowhere to go. Again, Imani Christian all over the tackle. Israel Reed, the junior linebacker, makes the tackle.
Well, you know, the thing is about Seth Howard, I had read they had been working with him all year long. They wanted to develop a quarterback because they realized that Kennedy's valuable as a receiver, as a scat back, as a wing back, as pretty much anything, as a guy taking the direct snap. And they want to be able to use him in almost any formation and disguise some things, but they needed another talented quarterback, and Howard really came along last week. But only his 2nd start in the WPL championship. it. Boy, that's a high, a lot of weight on his shoulders.
Howard on 3rd and 16 from his own 14. Airs it out deep. Has a receiver in Robert Kennedy, but he overthrows him. Kennedy wants a flag, and he will not get it. The Imani Christian Saints defense making noise here as they force Jeannette 3 and out on their first possession.
You know what? There was a little bit of contact, but that ball was not catchable, and that's why they didn't throw the flag. The DB kind of stopped, and Jeannette receiver just ran into him. So really, I think a no flag was good there.
So the Jayhawks will go ahead and punt this football away as going back for Jeannette. The punt the ball away will be Seth Howard. And for Imani Christian.
Big advantage on field position right now for Imani Christian. Can they take advantage of it, Ed?
Asante Watkins back deep to receive. Howard's kick is a short kick, and Imani Christian will just let this go out of bounds. It's going to go out on the Jeannette side of the football field, I believe, around the 49-yard line.
So far, defense for both teams has played well. Both teams have shown they can get to the quarterback. Both teams pretty good in coverage. We've only seen the one complete pass, and I think that's something that both teams are going to have to take advantage of. Get the ball to an athlete, like Imani did on their first play, and let the athlete take over and get some yardage. And neither team fooled too much on defense right now.
Yeah, scoreless first quarter, 6:54 to play in the first quarter. Ed Troup, Mike Azadian here with you on the Triblive High School Sports Network. Glad you could join us for exclusive coverage of this Class 1A championship game here from Joe Walton Stadium on the campus of Robert Morris University. Second possession of the day for the Saints, and they start out the 49 of Jeannette. Handoff in the backfield. It's Watkins. He dances up the middle across the 45 up to about the 41-yard line. We'll pick up 8 yards on first down.
I like how he bounced. I mean, he bounces, he shifts, he moves. He doesn't go straight into anybody. So he bounced off somebody 2 yards in, ended up getting about 7 yards, broke a tackle after about 4 yards. So those are the kind of first down runs you love. Now you're at 2nd and 3.
They line up this time. Again, looks like it's Asante Watkins actually was back there. Looks like the Wildcat formation again as they put him in there on 2nd and 3. But, Mike, they draw the defense of Jeannette offside.
Yeah, that's going to be the second penalty on Jeannette. I like when you get to this point in the season, Ed, you have to have different wrinkles. You can't just always use your quarterback.
Yep.
You get guys like Jackson in there. Jackson's close there as well as Wesley and Asante Walker. So you don't know who's going to get the ball. You can't key on one guy. I like what Ron Elhurd did there, and it confused the defense and ended up getting a first down.
Yep, moves the chains up to the 36-yard line of Jeannette. 1st and 10 Saints, and it's Wesley. Again, in that shotgun formation, he'll give it to Watkins. Watkins goes across the middle, across the 35, wrapped up and tackled at the 33-yard line. He'll pick up 3 yards on the first down carry. Asante Watkins for the
I like him.
Saints.
I like him a lot, and I love the fact that they're going to run the ball. Because if you pass, you're going to get some yardage. But if you can control the ball on the ground, eat up some time, it keeps the ball out of their hands as well. You prove you can run against them, and I said it earlier, then you bring the defense in, and then you open up the passing game. Plus, it's a little blustery. It's kind of cold. The wind's in your face.
Very windy.
Exactly. The wind is going to go against the pass game.
Here's the Wildcat with Watkins again. Calls for the football, takes it. He'll take it himself off the left side, but the Jayhawks are there. They read it defensively all over the play. Leading tackle that time made by Jeannette was 51, Ian Smith. He's a senior, 6'2", 190-pound defensive lineman.
Yeah, Zach Bergnick, the junior, was also in on it. And, again, another big play by Jeannette defensively. They give a little bit, but then they sniff something out and make a big play. And they've made a couple of big plays so far, now 3rd down. And we'll see if this is a passing down for them, as I see Idris Carlo come into the game. Ramon Hart is going to be out wide as well with Sam Fairley and Ray Jackson. They'll go 4 wide, 2 left, 2 right.
Yeah, the Saints have some very talented wide receivers. We'll talk about them throughout the day, but Mike just mentioned them, pretty much all of them, as Wesley stands back in shotgun formation. Little screenplay, though. They keep it on the ground with Jackson. He dances to the 35, to the 25, to the 20, still on his feet. Spin move down towards the 16-yard line. First down, Imani Christian Saints. There was the screenplay, but Ray Jackson making things happen with his speed and his moves.
Yeah, and you know what? Jeannette took a chance and went after him. 4 guys came in. They couldn't get to him. Give Tawan Wesley credit. He felt the pressure coming, but he dumped the pass off nice and let the athlete Jackson do the job. And that's a beautiful play and a first down. They're knocking at the door.
Everyone in tight as Watkins in the Wildcat goes up the middle, spins at the 10, still on his feet as he gets all the way down to the 7-yard line. And here they go. The Saints are knocking on the door here in the scoreless first quarter with 4:05 and a moving clock.
I think when you really look at these two teams, Jeannette has the depth. Jeannette has a better overall roster of talent. But Imani Christian has the better skill players, probably 5 or 6 skill players for Jeannette's 1 or 2, and I think that's a difference so far as we're seeing with Watkins. We haven't really seen Fairley or anyone else, or even R.J. Hart or Israel Reed.
Watkins, again, out of the Wildcat, takes the football back inside, cuts it towards the goal line. Did he get in?
No.
He's just short by inches, where it'll set up a first down and goal. He only needed a yard, Mike, for the first down.
And they got the first down. And I got to tell you that they've watched some film on Jeannette because, Ed, they're going up the middle on them, over center, over left guard, over right guard. They're going over the tackles. They're going up the middle. They're not going around the ends. And that's impressive because Jeannette is giving on defense up the middle.
Watkins wants the ball on first and goal from the 1, and he goes straight up the middle into the end zone for a Saint touchdown as they lead it 6-0 here early with 3:24 to go.
Well, I got to tell you, I just said it, and somebody somewhere when they watched some film said, Coach, I think we can beat this team up the middle on the run, and they have done it pretty much all game long. They've not gone left or right. One time they went left and got stopped. A couple of times Jeannette's defense came in and stopped them as well. But running up the middle on this team, the offensive line for Imani Christian is doing the job right now.
Mike, you hit on it. This team's so talented in the air, the passing game all season long. You come in, if you're Jeannette, you knew what you saw the first time around, but game planning, and they come out and they're pounding the ball on the ground.
And you know what? That eats up the clock, and Jeannette has touched the ball only one time in the first quarter, and the quarter's almost over.
And Watkins, again, out of the Wildcat formation, is going to try to get to the edge, but Jeannette's going to prevent him from doing that, and the two-point conversion will be no good, as leading the way on the tackle, among others, was Zach Burchick. And with that, it's going to be 6-0 here in the first quarter.
Yep, 6-0. Nice drive by Imani Christian.
We'll take a break. Again, 6-0 is our score as Imani Christian leading Jeannette here in the first quarter with 3:24 to go. You are listening to exclusive coverage of the 2017 WPIAL Football Championships only here on the new Triblive High School Sports Network.
The team at UPMC Sports Medicine doesn't just rebuild wrists and knees. They build better athletes. Athletes at every level who want to get stronger and faster and prevent injuries. Fact is, no other sports medicine program in the region is more experienced when it comes to treating, training, and inspiring athletes. UPMC, the official healthcare provider of the Penguins, Steelers, and you. Find out more at upmcsportsmedicine.com.
And we're back here at Robert Morris University. Ed Troup and Mike Azadian here with you with the exclusive call of the Class 1A WPIAL Football Championship game here on the new Triblive High School Sports
We also
Network.
got to mention our camera gal, Jess Levo. Good
Yes.
job for her. And also in the booth helping us out with things, James Dodson and what's that guy's name? He's a big social media guy. He's been with the network for a few years. Not Josh Roundtree, our crew helping us out here with things. We appreciate everybody's help.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
a team effort, Ed. It's always a team effort.
Absolutely, and we appreciate everybody chipping in here today. Don Rebel, Sam Hall, not too far in the house as well, to the left of us, helping out with the PA announcing today here from RMU. As the kick is taken back by Jeannette, number 22, that's Zach Burgeon, and he's going to fumble the football away. Imani Christian has it. Going the other way with the football for a touchdown is Samuel Fairley. No, he is into the end zone, yes, for 6.
44 yards, they're saying. The ball popped out at about the 46-yard line. It sat there for what seemed forever, and then Sam Fairley comes up and wasn't even touched. There were 4 Imani Christian players there, and that is a game changer. A game changer. You cannot afford that kind of stuff, and exactly, Jeannette fumbles the ball. And the return was a good 15 yards. A great return. Yep. Would have had great field position. And now backs against the wall. They're going to be down 2 touchdowns. Imani in control early.
No, it was not the regular return man for Jeannette with Burchick. He's one of the blockers, but the ball was kicked to him, so he took it. He was the up back, took it off the left side, and fumbled the ball away. He was not down on the play, and right place at the right time for Fairley as he picked it up untouched, 44 yards into the end zone. 12-0 Saints here in the first quarter. They're going to line up and go for 2.
It's a big 2, Ed. They need this. Because that'll put them up 2 scores.
Wesley spreads the field. Looks like he wants to pass it. He will. Off his right side going towards the end zone, and it's knocked away. Intercepted. And coming out of the end zone for the Jeannette Jayhawks is Marcus Barnes. And the play dead, though, back there. It'll remain 12-0 Saints. We'll keep it right here, Mike. Exciting game so far here from RMU, as the Saints have capitalized now on a turnover to take a 2-possession lead.
The great equalizer. Turnovers and penalties, and right now, Jeannette with a couple of penalties, Imani none. The one turnover leads to a touchdown, and when you get teams of equal talent, teams that feel they deserve to be here, teams that prove that they could be here by beating teams that were their nemesis. You know, Ronell Hurd earlier in the year, basically going into the year, before that season even started, said and was quoted as saying, hey, listen, I think we can play with Jeannette. We can play with Clairton. I think we have the talent to do it. We want a chance to prove it in section and in the playoffs. We think we can get it done. Well, they got it done most of the year. Yeah, they lost a few teams, lost to Cal, lost another conference game, but have proven themselves to the point where they are in the championship game and up 2 touchdowns now. So Ronell Hurd earlier in the year thought they could play with these two teams, and he's proven that they can.
The regular return man for Jeannette, by the way, is Monty Sanders, and he stands back just outside his 20-yard line. Also back deep is Robert Kennedy for the Jayhawks. Jackson has it teed up. Here's the run-up and the kickoff now. Again, a line drive kick. Goes again to Burchick, who coughed it up last time. This time he'll take it towards midfield, and the Jayhawks will have good field position here, down 12-0 first quarter, 3:29 to go. And Jeannette now has to dig in an offense, Mike, that's the #1 offense in all of Class 1A, averaging 41 points per game.
Yep.
Defensively, 13 given up. They have 4 shutouts on the year, but this offense is powerful.
Exactly, it is. And, you know, down 12-0, okay, no big deal. We made a mistake. You as a coach, Roy Hall and his crew, got to tell the kids, don't worry about it. Play your game. We'll score some points on them. Let's not compound this with more mistakes. They can't afford any more mistakes. They can't afford to get down 3 or 4 touchdowns here.
Seth Howard, the quarterback, goes with trips right and hands it off in the backfield. It's Sanders, and he's gobbled up at the line of scrimmage. I mean, he might have lost a yard. Yep. The Saints all over the play.
Jerron Thompson.
Yep, Thompson leads the charge.
You know what? And when a game earlier when I saw them against Riverview, and Riverview admittedly not a great team, but boy, when Imani starts on defense and hitting you and coming after you, they are like a bull in a china shop, man. They just come after you, and they are not afraid to hit hard and play hard. To watch them on defense.
3 minutes to play first quarter. Our score 12-0. Imani Christian leading Jeannette. Handoff in the backfield, but right at the line of scrimmage. Nowhere to go for Sanders again. And once again, it's Jerron Thompson. This Saints defense now flexing their muscles a little bit, Mike, here in the first quarter.
That's a big thing. I mean, it's the second possession for Jeannette. They didn't move the ball at all in the first possession. Now here they are, 3rd and 9. Statistic-wise, they've got less than 10 yards. They've had a couple of failed passes. Right now, nothing happening on offense for them at all, and that's Imani's front line. Their front line, they hold them up just enough to let the linebackers come in, to let guys like Sam Fairley and Watkins come in and do the job.
Up, snap goes over Howard's head on 3rd down and long. He loses it. He still can't recover, but now finally gets it back at the 25-yard line. Fortunately for Jeannette, they don't turn it over, but unfortunately, they're going to have to punt the ball now almost towards their own goal line.
And again, now they won't have field position. Boy, that's an inexperienced quarterback right there. He tried to pick it up and run and make something happen where he should have just fell on the ball and ate it. That could have really compounded into a worse mistake, trying to pick it up in the second one. If Imani's there, they pick it up, and they're there at the 25-yard line now. Mistakes for Jeannette.
So the Jayhawks will punt it away. Seth Howard back at his own 12. Gets a good snap and gets the good kick away. Pushing all the way back for Imani Christian is Watkins back at his own 30. He's to the 35-40. Gets a block at the 45-50. Cuts it back midfield at the 40, 35.
He stepped out of bounds around the 47.
And, they're going to stop the play right there.
Yeah, it looked to me like he did. I was wondering why they didn't. I'll tell you something. That could have been a huge mistake. If he doesn't step out of bounds, he's inside the 30.
Easily.
You punted right at him, he'd have had about a 35-yard return. But, you know, Jeannette right now, fumble, couple of penalties, bad snap. Now they're going to kick to a return guy down 2. They're just like inviting Imani to blow him out. Yeah. This is not smart football, in my opinion, by Jeannette. They're going to have to recoup. I think they need a defensive stance here. You can't afford to have Imani be up 3 touchdowns early in the second quarter on you. And if I'm Imani right now, I go for the kill.
Yeah,
I try to pass the ball, maybe try to get a quick score on them. Jeanette's reeling a little bit. I'd take advantage if I'm Ronell Hurd.
Tawan Wesley, the quarterback, 6'1", 175-pound senior. Again, stands in the shotgun formation. He's going to go 4 wide receiver set. And Sycar off to his left this time will be number 4, Brian Yates. First time we've seen Yates into the game here today. And they go with Yates up the middle. He's going to cut it back, try to get towards the 50-yard line, but he will not get there. Stood up, a gain of a yard on the play.
Yeah, he went sideways when if he's going forward, I think he gets 3 or 4, but interesting. Interesting. They decide to play it safe up 12-0. Maybe he's going to wait till the second or third. I don't know, Ed. I'm just thinking if you got a team reeling that keeps making mistakes every other play, you go for the kill. You hope to catch them napping a little bit. You watch Jeannette's players. They got hands on hips. They're taking their time. They look like they're, hey, what's going on here? I would want to take advantage of that.
I would agree, Mike, especially this Jeannette Jayhawk offense. That's a sleeping giant right now. You've contained them throughout this first quarter, but they have the talent. They can explode at any time. 2nd and 10 from the 48. Pass going to hit the turf, incomplete, as Wesley was trying to get the ball to R.J. Hart. It'll be 3rd down and 9. Clock will stop at 40 seconds to play here in the first quarter. Again, our score, Imani Christian 12, Jeannette nothing in this WPIAL Class 1A championship game.
Got a chance to talk to R.J. Hart's dad after a game they did. Real impressive man, and R.J. seems to be a real nice kid. A lot of people think that as a junior, he's got a lot of talent, and he'll be recruited heavily next year. We'll wait to see. He does have the talent. He's got speed. He's got height. His dad seems to think that there's going to be some schools coming after him. That remains to be seen, but I wouldn't be surprised if there are a lot of scouts scouting this Imani team.
3rd down and 9 for the Saints from their own 48-yard line. Wesley rolls out to his left side, looking for a receiver, incomplete, as he was trying to find Ray Jackson. And there is a flag down on the play.
Yeah, it might be a block in the back. I don't know. It looked like a good block to me. We'll see. I don't know if it's going to be a block in the back or what it's going to be.
It's going to go against the Saints. And with that, I believe Jeannette would decline and make this 4th down in a punting situation. First time we'll see the Saints punt the football away here all day long.
I'm looking at my signals here. Encroachment? No.
Yep, it's going to be declined, and Ray Jackson
block
will be
in the back. Yeah, I thought that play, I think the Jeannette, that was close. The Jeannette player was just past the Imani player enough when he blocked him from behind, and that's what they called it. Looked to me side to side, but they are going to take the down. And
35 seconds to play first quarter, 4th down and 9, and Jackson will punt it away. Flag down on the near side of the football field. Robert Kennedy back deep to receive for Jeannette will just let it go, and it'll be down at the 26-yard line, but we'll have to see what the flag is, as it was thrown again on the near sideline. Might have been an offside call. We'll have to wait and see. It was 4th and 9, Mike, so if it is against the Saints.
If it's against Jeannette.
So we'll see.
That's going to be against Imani. Yeah. So now Jeannette has to determine, take the ball or let him punt again.
Yep, false start against Imani Christian on the punt, so we'll see if Roy Hall, by the way, the head coach for the Jeannette Jayhawks, we talked about him a little bit ago, Roy Hall, and Ronnie Hurd for Imani Christian.
He's out now. He wants to talk to the official. I don't know if they're going to make him do it again. I think they're going to make him punt again.
Yep.
You know what? Think about it. Okay, you've got the ball on a 25-yard line. Make him punt again. You get a return. Why not?
Yeah.
You're down 12-0. You could break a play. You've got the athletes. I'd make him do it again. Even if he punts it out of bounds and you get the ball at the 20, 25-yard line again, at least you took a chance.
I agree.
From there, they're not, unless they get an unbelievably lucky roll and get it inside the 20, or unless you fumble the ball, you're not counting on that. They did it once already, but I'd take the chance and get a return.
Yeah, so they accept the penalties. 4th down and 15 now from the 42-yard line of the Saints. They will punt it away. Jackson stands back at his own 32. Again, Robert Kennedy back at the Jeannette 25-yard line. Line kick. And going to be taken back at the 20-yard line for Jeannette. And by Sanders, he's going to take it on to the outside of the 35-40. Tackled at the 44. And the Jayhawks, the penalty that they accepted works in their favor. Instead of having the ball back inside their own 25, Mike, they have the ball towards their own 45-yard line.
Common sense makes sense. I like what Roy Hall did there. That's a smart play. Now you're just at the end of the first quarter. You'll go into the second. You've got the ball midfield. If you can get some offense going, you cut the lead in half. That's the plan. You can't get it all back in one. You can't make up for your mistakes, but you can get some semblance of offense. See what they do here as they come up with a different formation than we've seen already so far, 3 wide.
15 seconds to go, first quarter, 1st and 10, Jayhawks. Seth Howard rolls out to his left side, fires the football, looking for a receiver. It looks like it's complete to Marcus Barnes right in front of the Jeannette sideline, up towards about a gain of 6 yards on the first down pass.
And that is a hard throw to make as a right-hand quarterback. You're moving left, you're throwing right in the wind is kind of going side to side. That's not a bad throw, and it's a nice catch, a nice first down play. That's good for them that they can get the passing game going. They're going to need that if they want to move the ball against Imani because they haven't done it on the ground.
2nd down and 3 yards to go. Seth Howard stands back, waits for the football, takes it up the middle on the keeper play, tries to get to the outside, and might pick up about a half a yard. Not much running room, as that'll be the final play of the first quarter as Jerron Thompson makes the tackle for the Saints.
You know what? That play could have been a big gainer, but no blocking from Jeannette. The receivers just let Imani's defenders go right by them. Jeanette's got to do a better job of blocking.
End of the first quarter, 12-0. Imani Christian Saints leading the Jeannette Jayhawks in this Class 1A WPIAL championship game. You're listening to exclusive coverage of the 2017 WPIAL football championships only here on the new Triblive High School Sports Network.
People ask what drives me. It's the respect I have for my opponents, the trust I have in my teammates, a coach who treats me with dignity, and a university that has faith in me on and off the field. That's what keeps me focused, why I practice harder, play my heart out. I play to win. I play for Carlo. Tell us your story using #WhatDriveSYou.
Carlo University is a proud sponsor of the Triblive High School Sports Network.
AstroTurf, a pioneer in sports surfacing, proudly supports high school athletics. Visit one of their 280 fields in the tri-state area to see their cutting-edge technology. AstroTurf's focus on R&D enables them to provide innovative surfaces that protect athletes and stand the test of time. AstroTurf now propels performance with iconic turf fields and legendary Record-Tan tracks. They manufacture, build, and maintain a full range of turf and track systems for total quality control. Learn more at astroturf.com.
Mark Ferry Auctioneers Incorporated. For over 40 years, we've been selling antiques, firearms, industrial and commercial liquidations, farms, machinery, and commercial and residential real estate. Named Pennsylvania State Champion Auctioneers. Members and past presidents of the Pennsylvania Auctioneers Association and members of the National Auctioneers Association. Take a look at our upcoming sales at markferryauctioneers.com. We may have just what you're looking for. Our 1,800 square feet tent can shelter 400 people. We keep a computerized and itemized record of all sales. We are licensed, bonded, and insured. Mark Ferry Auctioneers Incorporated. Check us out online at markferryauctioneers.com or give us a call at 724-423-5580.
Back here at RMU at Troup Mike Azadian, 1st and 10 Jeannette Jayhawks. As they run it on the right side, it's Robert Kennedy. He'll go out of bounds just short of the 35. Mike, coming out of our break, we had a penalty against Imani Christian to start things off here in the second quarter.
Offsides, and that is their third penalty now. They were didn't have a penalty about 9 minutes in. All of a sudden, 3 penalties in the last 3 minutes. And right now, only 5 penalties combined between these two teams, so not too shabby of play between them right now.
The Jayhawks set up that game that time as they get the ball just inside the 36-yard line. We'll call it 2nd down and about 3 yards to go. Again, it's Kennedy taking it up the middle, and he'll be stopped at the line of scrimmage. Nowhere to go as Imani Christian all over that play. Again, we've called Jerron Thompson all afternoon long so far. He's a junior, 5'9", 205-pound linebacker on the tackle.
And he's doing the job on defense. And right now, the defense is the difference. The defense, the fumble, Jeannette making mistakes, the big fumble, and Jeanette's defense just not being able to get it done. So a couple big factors, Imani's defensive front, Imani's offensive line, and Jeanette's inability to move the ball.
3rd down and 2 for the Jayhawks. Robert Kennedy under center, in shotgun formation, but at the quarterback position, I want to say, for the first time here this afternoon as he relieves Seth Howard. And it's Kennedy going up the middle, finds a crease and finds enough room that he'll be close to the first down marker. We'll have to see if he got it. Needed two, Mike.
It's at the tough spot. I don't know. I don't think he's got it. And are they going to measure?
Jayhawks.
No, they're saying first down. Okay.
Yeah, Jayhawks sideline signaled first down first, and then the officials followed that up.
This will be big for them if they could continue to move the ball, get a score. Because if you don't score, Imani gets the ball back again, then you're in danger of going down 3 touchdowns. Really important. I'm not saying the game lies in a balance here, but in some ways it almost does because Jeanette's capable of coming back, but you really want to be down 3 scores to a team like Imani. I think this is very important for them to, if not score, then pin them deep.
We are in the second quarter, 10:42 and a rolling clock. 12-0, Imani Christian leading Jeannette. High snap, but no problem for Kennedy. He gets it down, wants to throw it, nothing there. Dances to his right, to his left. Now he finds a blocker, gets to the 30. He's at the 25-20. Look at the speed. Kennedy, spin move down to the 11-yard line. What a play by Robert Kennedy, the senior 5'10", 175-pound quarterback for the Jayhawks.
Individual talent, game breaker, that's what you want. That's why they wanted him not to be the quarterback, because then now and again he can slide back in there, take a direct snap, then make a decision whether to run or to throw. Looked like he wanted to throw. Everybody was covered, came back, looked like he wanted to throw again, then saw the left sideline open, made the big move. That's why you like to have two guys that can play that position. I know a lot of people question, why is Seth Howard starting? Why is he in there? Well, he may not be in there all game long, but it looks like that Kennedy's lined up as quarterback again. And now we got a timeout called by Imani.
Yeah, Imani Christian will take a timeout. And we'll keep it right here and talk a little bit longer about this game, Mike. And, again, we are at the 10:29 mark, second quarter, 12-0. Saints leading the Jayhawks. You know, Jeannette, a storied program, 7-time WPIAL football champions. They won a AA championship last back in 2007, 2006, 1983, 1981, 1971, two AAA titles back in 1956, 1939. Imani Christian, they're brand new basically.
Yeah.
Last year, back in last season rather.
They had a really talented team last year.
5-6.
And they were a team that was probably about 8 to 10 points away from having 8 or 9 wins. They lost a lot of tough, tight, close games. But they only had a roster of about 15, 16 kids most of the year last year.
And they went 1-1 in the WPIAL playoffs. They beat Olsh before losing to Rochester in the WPIAL quarterfinals.
Just didn't have enough gun, didn't have enough depth. This year, their offensive line, defensive line, a lot better, a lot more depth. Instead of 15 kids, maybe they got 19, 20, 21. But they went out, and they got some talent to come in there.
Really two great stories here this afternoon playing for this Class 1A championship. After the timeout, you have you have Kennedy at the quarterback position, and he's going to throw the football, goes to the right, nothing there, goes to the left, nothing, back to the right, fires to the end zone, has a receiver for the touchdown. It's Marcus Barnes, brings it in for the touchdown.
Marcus Barnes, that's going to be 18 yards.
Yep, 18-yard touchdown reception, and the Jayhawks are on the board.
Boy, the difference in quarterback. You can see the experience in Kennedy. He goes left, he goes right. He's so quick. He avoids trouble. He waits. And the defensive backs are only going to cover for so long. And then Marcus Barnes is open, 18-yard TD. I think it was a wise move to go back to Kennedy. Not that Howard's playing bad. Howard's completed a pass, but the experience back there down 2 scores, really going back to Kennedy is huge.
Trey Cunningham will come out to attempt the extra point for the Jayhawks. 12-6 game. Snap is down. Cunningham's kick is up, and it is good. 12-7 is our score here with 10:20 to play in the second quarter. You are listening to exclusive coverage of the 2017 WPIAL Football Championships only here on the new Triblive High School Sports Network.
I like catching fish with my son, but I sure don't like a health plan that comes with a catch. That's why I'm good with Gateway Health for medical assistance. They give us access to the highest quality health care from the doctors and hospitals that we want. And when you have something that good on the line,
you don't let it get away.
I'm good with Gateway. Go to I'mGoodWithGateway.com to find out why so many people say
I'm good with Gateway.
Ed Troup and my partner this afternoon, Mike Azadian, here with you on the new Triblive High School Sports Network, bringing you exclusive coverage of the Class 1A WPIAL Championship game. Again, the Imani Christian Saints. They are 11-2 coming in, the 4th seed. The Jeannette Jayhawks, the number 3 seed. They're 12-1, Mike, and we have a 12-7 score with 10:20 to play. Second quarter, big scoring drive for the Jeannette Jayhawks.
And they needed it. Started at midfield and moved the ball. A couple of Imani penalties helped them, but Marcus Barnes' 18-yard touchdown catch from Robert Kennedy. The kick was good by Cunningham. 12-7. They cut the lead in half, and those missed extra points by Imani could loom large. Jeannette, I think, did the right thing. You got Robert Kennedy in there. Not that Seth Howard was playing bad, but you've got the experienced kid in a big game. Howard maybe made a couple of bad decisions, but did complete the big pass that he had. I think he's 1 for 2 throwing the ball. But they weren't moving the ball with him. Even on the ground, maybe you move Kennedy in there, and it gives a different look, gives the team confidence, and so far so good for Jeannette.
Watkins and Jackson back deep to receive. The kick, it'll go towards Watkins as Cunningham kicks it over there, and Watkins will pick up the ball and be tackled immediately at the 21-yard line. Good special teams play by Jeannette. Number 4, Bryce John. He's a senior, 5'9", 154 pounds.
And you know what? I really like going back to the scoring play is Kennedy just kept it alive. A little bit of pressure went left. The receivers were covered. And when you got a quarterback, and we've seen this in the pros with Ben Roethlisberger, we've seen it with other guys like that, Deshaun Watson in college with Clemson last year, you keep plays alive enough that your receivers find ways to get open. And Barnes just went into a corner, got in front of the DB. Kennedy saw that and threw a strike to him and let his athlete go up and catch the ball. And that's what you want. Just give your athletes a chance. And Jeannette took advantage of it. And interesting that Imani couldn't get even a hand on Kennedy.
Imani Christian Saints, 1st and 10 from their own 22-yard line. Wesley, the quarterback, goes up the middle, takes it across the 30, breaks it at the 35. Check that, that's Reed. Israel Reed into the game, 45-40, 35-30, tripped up at the 25-yard line. As the touchdown-saving tackle made on the play for Jeannette, getting back there was Seth Howard, but they go with Israel Reed at the quarterback position, and they like to do that, Mike. They'll put Wesley in there, Reed. This time it's Reed underneath as he goes up the middle.
Big play, Israel Reed. Came in last week, 6 of 7, 178 yards. A big reason they beat Cal. When things could have went against them, they kept drives alive and did a great job. 55 yards on the play. And, boy, he burst up the middle. And how about the line for Imani Christian? Just big holes. And then nobody closing in for Jeannette. It's almost like they're standing there still at the defensive back position, and they let him get that far. They did catch up to him with speed. Reed got caught at the 23-yard line.
Reed, big time, was off and running on the play. Now back in at quarterback was Wesley as he hands it off. Nowhere to go that time as Watkins. He tried to get to the outside, Mike, but that was closed off quickly by that Jeannette Jayhawk defense. And again, number 80 leading the way, Anthony Johnson.
You know, one thing about Israel Reed is Israel Reed can run and may be a better runner than Tawan Wesley. Israel Reed has a really, really strong throwing arm, but at times he's inaccurate. And that's probably why that Tawan Wesley in there more, he's got a more accurate arm. They haven't thrown the ball a lot, but interesting that they put him in there in the first play as a running play, different look, and he burst up the middle.
2nd down and 11. Wesley at the quarterback position, throws an out pattern, nothing there. Boy, almost picked off, could have been there, but Sam Fairley, the receiver, wasn't even looking for the football, Mike.
Exactly.
Fortunately for them, it falls incomplete.
The one thing about this team we talked about earlier, they've got guys like game-breaking guys like Jackson and Fairley and Hart. And Jeannette just doesn't have that much receiver talent. They all, again, Israel Reed as well, and Asante Watkins. They've got 5 guys that can break a game, and that is big. And eventually we'll see. We saw Jackson earlier make a nice play. We saw Fairley on the return. We saw Watkins. Chance right there for Fairley to do something, just didn't get it done.
3rd down and 11. They go underneath with Watkins, and he is stood up at the line of scrimmage. He'll get that 1 yard back that he lost earlier. Maybe another after that. It'll be 4th down and 9 upcoming for the Imani Christian Saints.
Yeah.
See if they'll go for it.
4 down territory here. You're not going to punt here. There's no way. It doesn't make any sense. So you don't need a touchdown here. If you get another 10 yards, I see a screen. Something to the right, something to Jackson, something to Fairley, something to R.J. Hart on the left or the right, and maybe get one of those 2 guys to break a tackle, get a block, and get 10 yards.
8:22 moving, 2nd quarter clock. 12-7, Imani Christian leading Jeannette, but the Saints looking for more. Picked off on the play, on the interception. It's Marcus Barnes. He takes it to 25-30, up across the 35. Late flag comes in as he is tackled, but it's Barnes on the interception of Tawan Wesley.
Yeah, turnovers are equal now. This game's starting to even out a little bit, Ed. It was all Imani pretty much in the first quarter. But now Imani with mistakes. Too many penalties into the first quarter helped Jeannette get their score. And now I don't know whether he didn't see Barnes. Barnes was in the path. There was a receiver open. Whether he underthrew him, I don't know. He threw it right to Barnes. And Barnes was right there. It was like right in his chest. When you're throwing it right in his chest, you didn't see him. He must have stepped in front of it. But penalty's going to bring the ball back.
Yeah, blocking penalty on the returns, but Jeannette will retain possession as it happened after the interception. But the Jayhawks here in business. Actually, it's a personal foul call against Jeannette. Not a blocking, but a personal foul.
Still only 3 penalties each, which isn't bad compared to what we saw last week in the championship game with Aliquippa and what we saw for these 2 teams before. So 3 penalties midway through the second quarter each is not too bad. But there's been a couple of personal foul calls. We're going to move it back even further. They're now back to the 13-yard line.
Yeah, good news for Jeannette is they get the interception. Bad news is instead of having the ball towards midfield after the return, they're going to start out deep in their own end as they line up here just outside the 12-yard line. They'll call it the 13. 1st and 10, Jeannette Jayhawks. And it is Seth Howard, the quarterback there, and he's going to draw the defensive line.
I don't know. Imani seems to think it's against Jeannette moving. It looked like maybe, was it number 51?
They're going in the opposite direction.
Ian Smith jumped off. Yeah, not good. There's 4 penalties to 3. There's been a couple of offside penalties, encroachment penalties. There you go, Mr. Fulham. Thank you, sir. Whoops.
So Seth Howard.
We'll take one more. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Will line his team up this time with a 5 wide receiver set. Boy, everybody's spreading out here on 1st down and 15 from the 8. Howard tries to get to the outside. Or no, it's Kennedy actually in there. Kennedy at the 15, across the 20, up to about the 23-yard line. He's going to get close to the 1st down marker as Robert Kennedy, 5'10", 175-pound senior, still in there and trying to make some things happen. Boy, they're rotating a lot of players in here, Jeannette.
They are. Quickly, some first-quarter stats. Jeannette with only 19 offensive yards. Imani with 58. Imani 2 for 6 passing. Jeannette 1 of 2 passing. Time of possession, Imani 8:06 to 3:54. That's a big one, but a lot weighed in on Imani in that first quarter.
Robert Kennedy in shotgun formation has a 5 wide receiver set. He's going to take it off himself on the keeper play across the 25, tripped up at the 26, maybe to the 27 for a gain of about 3 yards on 1st down. But now we're seeing Robert Kennedy in there on a regular basis for the Jayhawks.
There were a lot of questions about this Seth Howard move. To do what they did against California, their defense played. I'm sorry, not against California, against Clairton, against a rival like that. To do what he did in that game, a big game. Give him credit, but it's hard to get a rookie quarterback, even though you've worked with him all year long, in a championship game and to get that performance. Maybe we'll get back to him, but Kennedy's done a great job.
Seth Howard back in now.
There it is. They're going to move back and forth.
Right on cue, Mike. They're listening to you. So up the middle, here goes Howard. He stopped at the line of scrimmage, but still on his feet. Falls forward across the 30, breaks a tackle at the 35. 1st down, Jeannette Jayhawks, as Seth Howard gets up to the 40-yard line. He'll pick up 12 yards on the quarterback keeper play.
And I'm watching the coaches for Imani Christian, the 3 or 4 coaches, and they are mad. Renault Hurd and them are just upset because they're not tackling. He ran right up the middle. They had him for a loss of 1. He bounced off. Then they had him for about 2 yards. He gets away from it. He keeps his feet churning. You can't forget to keep tackling, and that's a 1st down. And Jeannette's starting to have the momentum sway their way. Imani's got to get back to that hard-hitting defense.
1st down and 10, Jeannette Jayhawks from the 40-yard line. As they line up this time with the 4 wide receiver set, it's again Howard on the keeper, tries to get to the edge, gets to the 40, now cuts it back inside to the 45, stood up right there. They'll call him down just short of the 45, Mike, but still a solid gain on 1st down of close to 4 yards.
I could be wrong, but I think Imani's got too many guys on the field. 1, 2, 3. 11. I thought there was 12 guys on the field. Yeah, there was too many guys on the field that last play. Here's a guy coming off. There are 12 guys on the field, and the officials missed it. Yeah. I knew there was too many guys on the field. The officials blew it. Interesting. Because I kept thinking, wait a minute, they got too many guys in the backfield. They had 5 guys on the line. I knew they had 12.
No,
they got away with one big time.
An extra player, they still couldn't bring Howard down, though. Still
they got 11 on there now. I cannot believe I'm the only one that noticed that.
So now it is, Jeannette might not have noticed it down there.
Yeah.
Who knows? Howard back to pass. He's under pressure, and he's going to be sacked in the backfield by Imani Christian, the Saints. This time they get it with 11 out there, Mike, and leading the way is Brian Yates, the junior, 6'2", 210-pound linebacker, the product of the Saints and Imani Christian.
You know what? Again, the line broke down for Jeannette, and they can only protect for so long, and when Imani starts sending guys, and here they are moving guys in and out of the lineup. Here comes offensive lineman Kayvon Poindexter out. Tyran Harrell comes in. They couldn't do that last year. They couldn't do that the year before. This year, they're able to move some guys in and out and have fresh bodies on the field.
5 minutes to go, 2nd quarter. Our score, Imani Christian 12, Jeannette 7, 4:55 moving 2nd quarter clock. Howard back to pass, airs it out deep, looking for Kennedy, and it's out, incomplete, out of bounds.
Yep, that's a good call.
Kennedy wanted a flag,
and
he got
it. He was pushed out of bounds. That is a good call by both officials. He wasn't going to catch the ball. It was catchable, but the fact that he pushed him out of bounds and didn't give him an opportunity to catch it, that is a good call by the officials. And really an unnecessary penalty by Imani Christian, because I don't think he was going to catch the ball anyway. He was in double coverage, but the guy pushed him out. Good call against Imani.
Yeah,
not smart defense there.
Pass interference call will give Jeannette new life, and the Jayhawks will be back in business here. How about the Jeannette Jayhawk fans, Mike, in front of us here? They have brought everyone from Westmoreland County.
I parked out there. There must have been 10 different tailgates, all kind of people having fun. Jeannette brings a huge crowd.
And Imani Christian, a nice crowd here as well. They're just a smaller school.
Smaller school, but boy, the Jeannette people always travel well. Anytime I've ever seen Jeannette play in almost any sport, they travel well. They love their high school sports down in Westmoreland County.
Beautiful. Westmoreland County.
Scenic.
There you go. First down and 10 from the 48-yard line. It is Seth Howard rolling out to his right side, throws it away. Was looking for Marcus Barnes, but he was covered.
He was covered, but boy, he throws it short to him. He gets at least a 10-yard gain. I think he overthrew him. I don't know if he threw that away or not. Did you think he threw it away? I just think he overthrew him because the man was open. The man was open. I think if he throws it right at his chest, he gets it, and maybe gets at least 7 or 8 yards. It's just not a good throw, I think.
It's almost like he was looking for Barnes to run a little bit deeper.
Maybe.
And Barnes wanted to come a little bit shallower to make the
I just
catch.
think the inexperience Howard has shown on a couple of plays have cost them. I think we'll see between him and Kennedy taking turns again, but a little bit surprised that wasn't a good throw.
So here we go on 2nd down and 10 from the 48-yard line of the Saints. Jeannette with the football. They trail 12-7 here with 4:44 to go in the quarter. Second quarter, that is. Seth Howard tries to throw it back. That's a live football. No. They're going to say incomplete. I don't know, Jeannette, is there any whistles down on the play? And up with it for
I agree
Jeannette.
with you. That's a live football. That ball should be a fumble. That ball should be a fumble. They should have the ball
What
at
a bizarre
the
play.
35-yard line.
Yeah, they're still going. Look at this, Mike.
Interesting.
So coming up with it, what a bizarre play. Ian Smith.
How are they going to let the play go when the coaches are on the field? Wow, let's see what the officials do with this. This is interesting. That is a live ball because is that a lateral or is that it's a lateral. It's a backward pass. You can't.
That's what I called it that way. And then when everyone stopped, I said, "Hey, incomplete." But I thought it was a live ball.
But was he touched when he got the ball at the 35? There was no signal. There was nothing. If he catches, but that ball, if he gives the ball up, but then he ran afterwards. But now the coaches were on the field.
Right.
I didn't hear a whistle, obviously, from up here. Now they're placing the ball back at the line of scrimmage, and they're going to call it an incomplete pass. That's the wrong call.
Wow.
That can't be. That has to be. If they didn't blow the ball dead at the 35, Jeannette gets a huge break there, Ed. A huge break because if they blow the ball dead, he's got it at the 35. I don't understand that at all. I just was handed a note that Imani is the smallest playing school in the state of Pennsylvania, the smallest in enrollment in obviously single A and in the championship game. Interesting if they win, what will happen as they go across the state.
So after all that craziness, we're going to set up 2nd down and 10 from the 48. Screen pass goes off to the left side and into the hands for the Jeannette Jayhawks. That's Sanders. Boy, he has blockers in front of him. 30, 25, 20. Still on his feet down to the 15-yard line for the Jeannette Jayhawks. And it'll be 1st and 10 for Jeannette.
Perfectly designed play. You don't say that often. That was a perfect play. 2 defenders were there. 2 Jeannette Jayhawks were there to block. They had the blocking, and that let the man do it. Without blocking, he gets maybe 10, 12 yards. He had blocking. He gets it all the way down inside the 15-yard line. Ed, that was probably as good a design play as you could see.
Imani Sanders for the Jeannette Jayhawks. He's had a couple of those plays here today, Mike, where he's really used his speed.
36 yards on the play, and we're going to get a timeout here.
Yeah, timeout taken by Imani Christian. And we'll keep it right here, Mike. Let's go back to that previous play, though, a couple plays ago. Again, backwards pass should have been a live football. Everybody just kind of stopped.
The only thing I can think of is that once he dropped the ball at the 35-yard line, that the officials blew the whistle. But then the players acted like they didn't. Now, the coaches came on the field for Jeannette, and they were upset. But, that could have been disastrous. If they blew the whistle, I think the officials ruled it an incomplete pass. But really, as you said and everybody in the booth said here, that should have been a fumble. They did pick the ball up. I think they probably just decided, well, we can't give it back to him at the 35. Let's call it incomplete. Jeannette got a break there. Yeah. Huge break. He's on the next play. They break it. That could have been disastrous for them. If somebody from Imani comes in and hits him and that ball's live, Imani gets the ball inside the 30-yard line, that would have been disastrous. Just not a smart play. The play was designed, and the throw wasn't good, and the receiver drops the ball. I think the officials missed that one. They also missed too many men on the field, so the officials struggling a little bit here today too.
So 4:07 to play here in the second quarter. It's 12-7. Imani Christian leading Jeannette, but the Jayhawks looking for more. Seth Howard gives it out to the right side. That's Robert Kennedy. Kennedy had it with a flag down. He'll dance to the 5 and pushed out of bounds right there, where he'll pick up close to 7 yards.
Probably a hold on Jeannette. I'm guessing from where the ball was at and where the flag was thrown. I would think that's a hold. We're going to find out. I think it's coming back.
Yeah, Jeannette going the other way, Mike. You're right.
See, the thing is, and I've talked to officials over the years. We know a couple were close with the network, and officials tell me all the time. I had a guy tell me at the WPIAL Championships, he said, there's holding and stuff almost every single play. We can just have games go 4 hours long. He said, but if a guy's coming around the side and there's a hold and it's helping a guy get the big yardage, you've got to call the hold. He goes, if it's held on the right side and they're going on the left side, generally you let it go. And sometimes it's a matter of when the offensive lineman or a player lets go of a kid. That play, obviously, it was helping the running back get around the edge. So good call by the officials.
Yeah, that's going to back the football back just outside the 17-yard line. Howard takes the ball, and flag is down. Movement up front against the Jayhawks. So, Jeannette, they had the big play by Sanders. They're getting things going, but now a hold and an offside call, or false start, I should say. And now it's going to back them up even another 5 yards. That's 10 yards in penalties in just a few seconds.
Exactly. Now I've got them for 6, Imani 4. I might have missed one. Let's see. First quarter, 2 for Jeannette, 1 for Imani. But the second quarter, the penalties are piling up. But there's only 1 each on personal foul. So they're not the nastiness we saw last game.
So first down and 20 now for Jeannette. Ball at the 22-yard line of the Saints. Seth Howard at the quarterback position, the junior. He'll take it himself, and he's going to be gobbled up right there in the backfield. Hit for a loss and sacked on the play for Imani Christian. Coming up and making the big tackle is number 4, and that's Brian Yates. We've called Yates' name all afternoon.
You know, something tells me that whoever wins this game, you know, we'll have interviews afterwards between us two and Josh and James, but I got a feeling there's going to be a defensive player or two that we're going to talk to. Yates has been big for them. Yeah, we've got some nice plays by Watkins, Barnes also an interception as well. But I got to tell you, it's a defensive player or two that's going to make a big difference here today.
3:24 in a moving second quarter clock. 12-7 our score. Imani Christian leading Jeannette. Airing it out deep as Howard looking into the end zone. Pass is made. What an incredible catch. And now they're going to say interception.
Wait a minute.
Who comes down with this football?
Well, the receiver, the official there in the corner said touchdown. Now they're going to talk about it. Wait a minute.
Coming down with the intended pass.
That's going to be a touchdown. They're setting up for the 2-pointer.
Trey Cunningham from 22 yards out. They say he came down with it for the touchdown. And the Jeannette Jayhawks strike here in the second quarter. So Cunningham comes back and makes a huge catch right in the right side of the end zone. What a catch.
Yeah.
But the defender also came up with it at the end, but Cunningham, they're going to say.
Yeah, you could say maybe incomplete, but I think he caught the ball, fell in the end zone, then the ball came out. If we could see that was a really, so we're saying 22 yards?
22 yards, 3:17 to go here in the second quarter for Jeannette. We had to apologize on that. That's on the far side of the football field in the corner as Cunningham comes out. He caught the pass. Now he kicks the extra point to make this a 14-12 Jeannette Jayhawk lead with 3:17 to go second quarter. You are listening to exclusive coverage of the 2017 WPIAL Football Championships right here on the new Triblive High School Sports Network.
Check out the new Triblive High School Sports Network on social media this season. For breaking news, scores, pictures, videos, links to our articles, and more, follow us on Twitter and Instagram under the handle Triblive HSSN. Get in the conversation on Facebook at facebook.com/Triblive HSSN. And on our YouTube channel, you can find thousands of interviews with local student athletes and coaches, plus highlights and full games. The spot for Western Pennsylvania high school sports on social media this season is the new Triblive High School Sports Network.
It's the grand opening of Freedom Pizza and Deli located at 10339 Perry Highway in Wexford. Satisfy your cravings for gourmet pizza, wings, rolls, burgers, calzones, wraps, gyros, hoagies, sandwiches, wedgies, and pasta. Dine in, take it out, or get free delivery. Open 7 days a week serving Wexford, Franklin Park, Ingomar, McCandless, and Bradford Woods. Freedom Pizza and Deli located on 10339 Perry Highway in Wexford. Call 724-719-6751.
Ed Troup and Mike Azadian here with you on the new Triblive High School Sports Network. Glad you could join us this afternoon from Joe Walton Stadium, RMU, Robert Morris University, Class 1A championship game. It's 14-12, Jeannette leading Imani Christian. as Jackson takes it back for the Saints on the ensuing kickoff at the 5. He's at the 10, 15, 20, wrapped up right there at around the 22, and that is where the Saints will open up this offensive possession. And, Mike, some debate here in the press box on the Trey Cunningham 22-yard touchdown pass reception of whether he came down with that ball or not. They call it that he did for the touchdown, but, again, some debate up here whether that should have been 6 points or not.
Yeah, it looked to me, both guys go up for it. He caught the ball. They both looked like they had control. Cunningham came down. The question is, did the ball come out before he hit in the end zone? If he comes down and he's in the end zone, then the ball comes out, touchdown. One official right away was there, said touchdown. Imani thought they had an interception. There was no interception. The ball came out. But the question is, did he have control when he came down? Hard to say.
And we're going to go 27 yards on the touchdown reception. And with that, Jeannette has taken the lead for the first time in this game, Mike. 14-12, 3:09 to play, second quarter. Here come the Saints back on offense. Wesley up the middle, and he'll try to get to the line of scrimmage and does so. And he's going to be wrapped up just across the 27-yard line. He'll pick up 2 yards on the first down carry.
So Imani with 2 first-quarter scores. So Watkins TD, a fumble recovery touchdown, and then they seem to be in control, but they start making a few mistakes. They turn the ball over. They intercept. Marcus Barnes with an 18-yard TD, and then Barnes with the interception, and that leads to a nice drive by Jeannette. So turnovers, without the turnovers, we're still probably even at about 7-6, or we're still a score apiece. But right now, 14-12. The missed opportunities on 2-point conversions have hurt Imani here down 2.
Wesley was shaken up on the last play, so he comes out of the game. Reed now in at quarterback, and he is blitzed and sacked and tackled in the backfield, back around the 17-yard line for Jeannette. Coming through untouched was Ian Smith.
Again, we've seen Jeannette use the blitz and pressure the quarterback, although Tawan Wesley's got out of trouble a couple of times and on some big plays got rid of the ball. But this time, I think that's a nice call by Jeannette's defense. The new quarterback in there, they know that he can hurt you, but let's go after him and see what he can do. They went after him. Offensive line gave and a loss. Now 3rd and 17. And Imani better be careful here because they don't want to give the ball up with too much time. Jeannette could come in and score and take a 1-score lead.
Asani Watkins will come in the Wildcat formation. Once the football, takes it on 3rd and 17. Goes up the middle, cuts it back around the 23 to the 24, up across the 25. He'll get to the 26-yard line.
Interesting.
And
interesting, conservative. They're not going to throw. They're not throwing that much here today. They're a team that threw the ball like crazy against Cal, threw the ball like crazy all year long in some games, even when they were up by 40. Now they're here in a tight game against a team with skilled position players like they are, but they've decided to run even on 3rd and 17. Very interesting call, Ed.
Jayhawks making a lot of noise, their fans, that it will be 4th down. And they call a timeout.
Yeah, they're going to get the ball back, and they're going to have a chance. Why not? You got this team on the ropes now. It's amazing the momentum swings. Imani seemingly had them on the ropes. They're a player or two away from maybe driving and taking a 3-score lead. They turn the ball over, and then Jeannette, after that turnover, that's been the swing play in this game, that interception by Marcus Barnes. Because then the Jeannette's offense all of a sudden had done nothing. All of a sudden did something with Kennedy in there. Kennedy gets the touchdown to Barnes, and then the interception leads to the 27-yard touchdown by Trey Cunningham. And now all of a sudden, Jeannette's defense taking control. They're going to get the ball back. About 1 minute and 30 to go. In pretty good field position, they're going to have a chance here to go up by a score.
I could agree with you more, Mike. And with that now, the Saints will punt the ball away on 4th and 8 from their own 27. Jackson gets a line drive kick away. Robert Kennedy back deep for Jeannette will let it bounce in front of him and out of bounds at the 39-yard line. So that is where the Jayhawks will go on offense with a 14-12 second quarter lead with 1:22 to play before halftime. And the Jayhawks now, as you said, Mike, have control of this football game.
You know what? I mean, you're playing better. Your offense is playing better. You've moved the ball now. You've solved some of your problems where they just tried to run the ball. And now you've got a chance to, I don't want to say put a dagger in their heart, but really have Imani question themselves. Imani was the better team in the first quarter. Now Jeannette the better team in the second quarter. Each team punch, counter punch. It's like a boxing match.
Yep.
Both teams have turned the ball over once. We'll see if Jeannette can make something happen here. Only 61 yards to go.
90 combined points the first time these two teams have met. A little bit different today. 14-12 here in the second quarter. Pass complete on the far side. Nice look and throw and catch as the pass brought in on the far sideline by Trey Cunningham. That's going to be close to the first down marker.
They double covered Kennedy down the middle, single coverage on the other two backs, and they went with the one back on the far right. Out pattern, just to the sideline, turn, catch, go out of bounds. You do that 2 or 3 times, you give yourself a chance at the end zone. If I'm Jeannette, I do the same thing. Keep sending everybody out wide. Go ahead. Cover Kennedy. Double cover Kennedy. We got some other guys catch the ball, and we'll just get 10, 15 yards at a clip. We don't mind. Maybe we break a tackle.
Jeannette has 2 timeouts remaining here in the first half. 14-12. Back to pass is Howard. Looks deep off his left side. Wide open and into the end zone for an easy touchdown for the Jeannette Jayhawks is Isaiah Winters. He's a junior, 6 foot, 180-pound receiver.
I got to tell you, I'm watching the DBs on the play. There was confusion of who was covering who. Jackson pointed. He came over. There were 2 guys wide left. They covered the guys wide left. There was a guy on the right that covered him. I'm just about, in my mind, I'm saying single coverage on Kennedy, but they didn't even bother. Didn't even bother to look at Isaiah Winters, and he was, you're right, wide open, couldn't even describe it better. There was nobody within 20 yards of him, and he makes an easy catch, and that would be, I believe, for 50 yards? No, that would be 51 yards.
51 yards to Isaiah Winters. Right in the middle of the football field. No one near him. Seth Howard, all of a sudden, Mike, 2 long touchdown passes for the Jeannette Jayhawks as the extra point by Cunningham is up and good. 21-12 here with 1:09 to play, second quarter. The Jayhawk crowd in front of us making a lot of noise here before halftime, and they have reason to do so because the team out on the field putting up some fireworks here towards the end of the first half.
You know what? If your defense is playing well, you've just scored twice. Your defense is playing better. You've solved their defense all of a sudden now. You're making some plays. You call the timeout. You're on a roll. I love the way they played this game. Down 2 touchdowns, didn't get down after the turnover. Okay, other teams could have crawled away and, okay, this game's over. But no, Jeannette said, yeah, okay, you punch us in the mouth, we're going to punch you right back. That's exactly what they did. Imani Christian just fouled up on defense pretty bad. I mean, not having a guy covered, not even covering that guy, I was kind of surprised. They didn't cover Robert Kennedy, double coverage like they did the play before. Single coverage, and he beats him up, and they beat him up with an easy touchdown.
21 unanswered points now scored in this game by the Jeannette Jayhawks, all here in the second quarter.
Yep, all in the second quarter. And it's
impressive.
amazing. It's amazing how the offense just turns. All it took was getting Kennedy in there, and then after Kennedy getting the interception, and then between Kennedy and Howard, Howard gets a little more confidence. All of a sudden, they're not being penalized as much. Imani Christian with more penalties, and then just like that, this game turns. And again, 21-12, we're at 33 points. We're on a pace for 66. That's kind of about what we thought might happen.
And just a few minutes ago, I was getting ready to start talking about how we were on the other side of that. There's been a lower scoring game, but now you're right, Mike, a couple touchdowns later, and we're approaching that average.
They kick deep.
Yeah, Jackson's going to take it back at the 15, 20 to the 25, and that's it. He is popped right there, and I mean popped by several players from Jeannette. Looked like Robert Kennedy led the charge among others. No, check that. That was 13. That's Piscar. He's only a freshman, 5'11", 180 pounds, number 13.
So kind of surprised they kicked deep. Again, here's Jeannette. Okay, you're up 9. Okay, you're playing well. There's a minute to go. Why kick deep to a guy like Jackson who can break it? I just, those are little things that both teams keep doing. It's almost like we'll tempt fate and invite them back in. Obviously, Jackson has the ability to break that, if not all the way. And we've seen Imani with a couple of game-breaking returns and big plays.
Israel Reed in there, quarterback for Imani Christian, throws a little in pattern, pass complete to Hart, and Hart will get across the 30 up to about the 31-yard line. He'll pick up 5 yards. We have a moving clock here at 51 seconds to go before halftime.
Yeah, they're not going to call a timeout yet. Interesting. They're taking their sweet old time, too, as Imani.
21-12, Jeannette leading Imani Christian here, late second quarter, 40 seconds to go before halftime. And you're right, Mike, no urgency here. They might be content.
No urgency at all. I don't understand. Why are you passing if you don't have any urgency? Don't make any sense.
Reed takes the football, back to pass from his own 21. He's going to be sacked in the backfield. Coming through for the Jeannette Jayhawks is number 58, Jalen Jones, senior, 6'1", 280-pound defensive lineman.
Yeah, I don't understand it. I don't understand that at all. If you're going to pass the ball on first down, obviously you want to try to score. And then you take 15, 20 seconds to get the playoff. They're not even going to get the playoff here. And it doesn't make any sense to me. Why do you pass on first down if you're not going to try to take advantage of it? We're going to go to halftime at 21-12.
Yeah, Imani Christian okay with just taking it to the locker room. They're going to trail here at halftime by 9 points. Meanwhile, Jeannette Jayhawks, you can see them out there. They have the crowd completely in their favor, making a lot of noise as they score 21 unanswered points all here in the second quarter to take a 21-12 halftime lead. You are listening to exclusive coverage of the 2017 WPIAL Football Championships with The Score. 21-12, Jeannette leading Imani Christian here at halftime, only here on the new Triblive High School Sports Network.
We're talking with Dr. Pete Peduzzi of American Back Centers about VaxD therapy. Dr. Peduzzi, it seems like there's a big difference between VaxD and some of the other treatments for back pain.
Kathy, pain injections, inversion tables, and so-called decompression devices might temporarily help your pain, but they don't get to the root of the problem. VaxD therapy is unique in that it produces a vacuum effect within the disc, drawing fluid back into the disc, rehydrating the disc, and gently moving bulges back into place. The fluid draws oxygen and nutrients back into the disc, which creates a healing environment and corrects the problem.
VaxD sounds like a more permanent solution.
It is. VaxD is not a temporary fix. VaxD addresses the structural cause of the problem, not just the symptoms. And it's only available at the American Back Centers.
Permanent results without drugs or surgery. Now that's impressive. Thank you, Dr. Peduzzi. And folks, you can learn more at AmericanBackCenters.com.
At American Back Centers, you've got nothing to lose but the pain.
We wrap up football and tip off basketball in December with a couple of special shows here on the Triblive High School Sports Network. On Wednesday, December 6th, we have a special tip-off edition of the Round Ball Report at 5 p.m. with the top 5 individual players, top 5 teams from each classification, and the first edition of the Trib 10 Power Rankings. Then on December 13th at 5 p.m., it's the final edition of This Week in the WPIAL as we announce the Trib 25 Football All-Star Team. Don't miss the start of basketball and the finish of football with special shows Wednesday, December 6th and 13th at 5 p.m. on the Triblive High School Sports Network.
The team at UPMC Sports Medicine doesn't just rebuild wrists and knees. They build better athletes. Athletes at every level who want to get stronger and faster and prevent injuries. Fact is, no other sports medicine program in the region is more experienced when it comes to treating, training, and inspiring athletes. UPMC, the official healthcare provider of the Penguins, Steelers, and you. Find out more at upmcsportsmedicine.com.
AstroTurf, a pioneer in sports surfacing, proudly supports high school athletics. Visit one of their 280 fields in the tri-state area to see their cutting-edge technology. AstroTurf's focus on R&D enables them to provide innovative surfaces that protect athletes and stand the test of time. AstroTurf now propels performance with iconic turf fields and legendary Recor-Tan tracks. They manufacture, build, and maintain a full range of turf and track systems for total quality control. Learn more at astroturf.com.
There's a new fear, not of better options, of rising loan rates. It's real. Rates have gone up, and Dollar Bank still has one of the lowest around. With a rate as low as 3.29% APR with only $50,000 borrowed, fixed for 7 years, there's nothing to fear. You can renovate the kitchen or update a bathroom or two. So lock in your rate now before they, well, I don't want to say it out loud. If choosing the better option is your worry, you can be confident that Dollar Bank's loan experts have only your best interests in mind, since they're not.
Back here at RMU, Joe Walton Stadium, Ed Troup and Mike Azadian. Glad you can join us here this afternoon on the new Triblive High School Sports Network. We are at the half of the Class 1A WPIAL Championship game, 21-12, as Jeannette leads Imani Christian here at the half after scoring 21 unanswered points all in the second quarter. For the Jeannette Jayhawks, the first half recap looking like this. Imani Christian, the Saints in the first quarter getting the first score of the game with 3:24 to go in the first quarter. Asante Watkins, a 1-yard touchdown run. 2-point conversion was a run play. It was no good. 6-0 Saints at that point. They get another score in the first quarter with 3:33 to go as on a fumble, the kickoff right after that. Fumble on the play. Sam Fairley picks it up, returns it 44 yards for the touchdown. They go for 2 on the pass play. It's no good. 12-0 at that point. And then Mike, Jeannette, the Jayhawks, they turn things on in the second quarter. 3 consecutive scores. It first starts with Robert Kennedy. The quarterback hits Marcus Barnes from 18 yards out. The extra point good at that point, 12-7. Then Jeannette, Trey Cunningham, 27 yards, who made a heck of a catch in the end zone. It was debated here in the press box whether he came down with it or not, but they call it a touchdown from Seth Howard. Either way, made it 14-12 after the extra point. And then Isaiah Winters, wide open in the middle of the football field, 51 yards from Seth Howard, makes it 21-12 here at the half. The Jeannette Jayhawks in control.
Yeah, interesting. At the first quarter, dominated by Imani Christian. Imani Christian outplays them defensively, plays a great game, and it looks like they're in control. And like I said on the broadcast, they're a couple of plays away from taking a 3-touchdown lead and taking control. And all of a sudden, Jeannette puts Kennedy back in big time. He leads them to a drive. And then the interception kind of changed things. Imani Christian, all of a sudden, it's like they lost their confidence on defense. And then Jeannette took over on offense and did a great job. But how about the phantom play, the play that never happened? I was told on that play with the reverse level, they just replayed the ball, which surprises me.
Yeah.
And the two plays before that,
right.
Too many men on the field, the official looked like he was going to pull the flag. So the officials made a couple of mistakes as well. But both teams with mistakes, both teams with a turnover, an even game. If Imani can get back to playing the defense they played in the first quarter, I think they got a chance to win this game, but they've got to right themselves because they had a horrible second quarter.
Definitely going to have to make some big halftime adjustments for sure, get back to what we saw in that first quarter from the Saints. They get back in this one, but give credit where credit is due. The Jayhawks hung in there. Again, 21 unanswered in this one, all in that second quarter to take the 21-12 lead. We're going to send it now to the halftime show here in this championship weekend, the Class 1A and Class 2A championships for the WPIAL Gold being held here from Robert Morris University, Joe Walton Stadium. Again, our halftime score here, 21-12 in the Class 1A game as Jeannette leading Imani Christian here at the half.
And we welcome you to the halftime show sponsored by Gateway Health here on the Triblive High School Sports Network. It is quarterfinals weekend in the PIAA state playoffs. Also championship weekend in the 2A and 1A WPIAL championships. Full disclosure now, we are putting this halftime show together prior to Friday's state football playoff game. So we may be talking about some teams that did not survive into Saturday. So please forgive us. Us, meaning me, Don Rebel, and also Chris Harlan of Triblive.com. Good to see you back with us, Christopher.
Yeah, back in studio here for Thanksgiving week.
That's right, back in the saddle again. All right, let's talk. Last week we did spend some time talking about some of the teams in the quote-unquote western half of these state brackets, even though, especially in the higher classifications, it doesn't necessarily break down that way. But now let's talk about some teams that may end up facing WPIAL opponents once we get to the big house in Hershey. We'll start in Class 6A.
Yeah, 6A all year has been about one team from the East. That's been St. Joseph's Prep, a team that's won 25 games in a row, the District 12 champion. They're 11-0 coming into this weekend. And it's a team that, when you talk about Pine Richland, that's the team they'll say straight out they've been looking at all year. I mean, they've been expecting to see them. If they get to Hershey, they expect St. Joseph's Prep to be there. A team that's won the title 3 of the last 4 years. They defeated Central Catholic 42-7 a year ago in the championship. This is also a St. Joseph's Prep team that beat Pine Richland back in 2014. Yeah. So, it's a good team. But if you look at them, last year they were a really talented team. They had a running back in DeAndre Swift who went to Georgia. He's gone, and they're not quite as talented, but they've still got some pretty good recruits. One of them is a guy named Ryan Bryce, a defensive tackle, 6'4" kid going to Army. Really leads that defense this year for St. Joseph's Prep.
And if you talk to some of the Hawks, they may be saying that Pine Richland's the team that's been on their radar
absolutely
all year. How about Class 5A?
Again, it's a District 12 team out of the Philadelphia Catholic League, Archbishop Wood. They're 9-2 coming in this week. This is a 5A was a class that a lot of people thought Harrisburg might be the favorite, but then they got upset last week in the District 3 playoffs, so that kind of opens it all up now. And maybe Gateway, it could actually be a favorite coming in here. We'll have to see, but Archbishop Wood coming out of the East is a team definitely in the East. They've only lost twice all year. One of those was to St. Joseph's Prep, the 6A team. Their big player is Nasir Peoples. He's a running back committed to Virginia Tech. Already got 1,200 yards, 21 touchdowns. Scored 4 times last week. And this is a Wood team that has won 4 titles since 2011. So they know how to get there. They know how to win.
Yeah, we first saw it in basketball, but now we're seeing in recent years in football that District 12 is sort of running the shots. You could say he's a people's person, by the way, but maybe then again not. How about Class 4A?
Yeah, again, look to Philadelphia with Imhotep Charter. District 12 team coming out 11-1. They were the runner-up last year to Erie Cathedral Prep. And that's kind of the matchup. Again, 3 years, this could be the 3rd year in a row that we have Imhotep Charter and Erie Prep in the championship. And I think that's what most people, when they look at this bracket, that's kind of what they saw coming in. They've got a guy committed to Penn State in Ishim Young, 5'10", 200-pound running back, defensive back, already has 16 touchdowns, scored twice last week. And they've got a, being a charter school, they've got a big draw from the Philadelphia area. They've got a couple juniors who are 4 stars. One of them's Tyke Smith as a running back, already has Maryland as an offer. In West Virginia too, but I think you look at some of those Philadelphia schools, and there are some really good ones coming out of District 12 this year.
All right, we'll take a look at 3A, 2A, 1A on the other side of the state, on the other side of this break. It's the halftime show, sponsored by Gateway Health here on the Triblive High School Sports Network.
I like catching fish with my son, but I sure don't like a health plan that comes with a catch. That's why I'm good with Gateway Health for medical assistance. They give us access to the highest quality health care from the doctors and hospitals that we want. And when you have something that good on the line,
you don't let it get away.
I'm good with Gateway.
Go to I'mGoodWithGateway.com to find out why so many people say
I'm good with Gateway.
People ask what drives me. It's the respect I have for my opponents, the trust I have in my teammates, a coach who treats me with dignity, and a university that has faith in me on and off the field. That's what keeps me focused, why I practice harder, play my heart out. I play to win. I play for Carlo. Tell us your story using #WhatDriveSYou.
Carlo University is a proud sponsor of the Triblive High School Sports Network.
AstroTurf, a pioneer in sports surfacing, proudly supports high school athletics. Visit one of their 280 fields in the tri-state area to see their cutting-edge technology. AstroTurf's focus on R&D enables them to provide innovative surfaces that protect athletes and stand the test of time. AstroTurf now propels performance with iconic turf fields and legendary Recor-Tan tracks. They manufacture, build, and maintain a full range of turf and track systems for total quality control. Learn more at astroturf.com.
The team at UPMC Sports Medicine doesn't just rebuild wrists and knees. They build better athletes. Athletes at every level who want to get stronger and faster and prevent injuries. Fact is, no other sports medicine program in the region is more experienced when it comes to treating, training, and inspiring athletes. UPMC, the official healthcare provider of the Penguins, Steelers, and you. Find out more at upmcsportsmedicine.com.
Halftime show sponsored by Gateway Health here on the Triblive High School Sports Network. Don Rebel, Chris Harlan. We're looking on the other side of the pond, well, the other side of the Commonwealth, at some of the teams that may end up facing WPIAL opponents. That's our hope. At Hershey Park Stadium in a few weeks. Let's talk about Class 3A.
Yeah, I think the favorite coming out of the East was Middletown, District 3 team, District 3 runner-up last year to Beaver Falls in the championship game. So I think you looked at that one, and they were playing Scranton Prep this week. 2 undefeated teams going at it. District 2 champ, District 3 champ. I think another team, though, in 3A not to overlook is Conwell Egan, coming out of Philadelphia. They have a running back right now that Rivals lists as the #1 junior in the state, a kid named Patrick Garwo, 5'10", 200-pounder, already has Wisconsin and Syracuse and Maryland, scored twice last week. So I think that's a team. You look at their record, they're only 6-6 coming out of Philadelphia, but as you look at the undefeated teams, I think that's a team maybe not to overlook either.
Deceiving. A lot of times they're playing up in classification. Middletown, the Blue Raiders we saw lose to Beaver Falls in the state finals a year ago. How about 2A?
Yeah, there's some familiar names there in Southern Columbia and Newman Gretty. Newman Gretty we know from basketball.
Saints.
But they're becoming a football power out there in District 12 too. Both teams came into this week undefeated. Newman Gretty had a running back, Letty Brown, 6'1", 190-pound West Virginia commit who had 3 touchdowns last week. They've got a big line. They've got a lineman committed to Oregon who's 6'7", 340 pounds. And Southern Columbia is a team that people know because they were the runner-up to Steel Valley last year. And I think as a District 4 champion, they had a stretch where they dominated single A, and now they're trying to make their mark in double A.
And Ligonier Valley, the District 6 champion, they're coming out of the East in Class 2A. They have a game against Dunmore. The District 6 championship is actually part of the East in Class 1A.
Yeah, so you could have an all-West final.
Yeah.
It's a possibility.
And that's been the case.
It has.
With in Class 1A with Bishop Guilfoyle on their run last year beating Clare.
Yeah, and you got Bishop Guilfoyle's coming in single A. A 59-game winning streak they have right now. If they win a state title, that would be up to 62, and they'd be getting in the neighborhood of what Clareton did a few years ago. But again, they're a 3-time defending state championship. Bishop Guilfoyle beat Clareton last year. I think right now when you look at single A, they're the team, even though, again, they're coming from the West, that's the team coming from the eastern half of the bracket that teams around here may see in Hershey.
Our final halftime show, we tip our cap to the good friends at Gateway Health for sponsoring the halftime show. Kudos to you as well, Chris.
Hey, it's always good to be here, Don.
Great job, Chris Harlan. Triblive.com. Read his stuff this weekend and beyond. Enjoy the second half of the game you are listening to here on the Triblive High School Sports Network.
Thank you, Don. Ed Troup and Mike Azadian here back with you on the new Triblive High School Sports Network. Glad you could join us here this afternoon from Robert Morris University, Moon Township, Pennsylvania, not far from the airport. And you got 2 schools, Mike. You got Imani Christian. They're from Swissville out that way. What a great story they are, by the way. They started in 1993, and I understand 1 or 2 students, that's it, in a regular house, and now they've expanded all the way into a big school, big private school, and here they are playing for a Class 1A WPIAL football championship. And Jeannette Jayhawks, of course, we know about Jeannette. They've been winning championships in football since the early 1930s, going for their 8th WPIAL championship here this afternoon. Westmoreland County near Greensburg, not too far from there if you're familiar with that neck of the woods. And, Mike, these 2 teams here today colliding in a halftime score of 21-12. Jeannette Jayhawks in control here at the half, having scored 3 straight touchdowns unanswered in that second quarter.
Yeah, and it looked all Imani early on. Neither team really could move the ball, and then Imani eventually scores on Watkins' touchdown. And then the fumble recovery touchdown by Fairley. They're up 12-0. And at the time I thought, well, they didn't convert on the two. Will that come back to cost them? We'll find out. And then both teams punt. Both teams' defense is playing pretty well early on, and all of a sudden, Jeannette switches quarterbacks to Kennedy. Now, he led them after having no offense and no first downs at all in the first quarter. And then they come back, and as you said, 3 straight touchdowns, and all of a sudden, Imani's defense just kind of went away. Interesting to see that happen. And Jeannette had, where's my stats? Jeannette in the first quarter had 19 yards total. Now, 151 in the second. That's the big stat. 151 yards in that second quarter, and Imani only 50. And time of possession, which swayed Imani's way in the first quarter, then swayed Jeannette's way in the second. So neither team converting well on third down. 1 of 4 is Jeannette, 1 of 6 is Imani. I don't think either team's playing great on offense.
Right.
Or great on defense. They both have shown flashes of brilliance. We've seen both teams blitz and sack the quarterback. We've seen some mistakes. This game could go either way. I think Imani's going to have to go back to playing that tough defense and find a way to solve the Kennedy problem. If they can't make mistakes like they did at the end of the first half and letting Isaiah Winters wide open. I mean, those kind of things are just going to kill them. Only down a touch. Well, they're more down on a touchdown now. That's the problem. They're down 2 scores, actually. They're down 9 points, and the lack of getting those 2-point conversions really hurt them, Ed. They come into the second half, play the strong defense, get a break, maybe get a turnover. I think they can win this game. But if things go like the second quarter, Jeannette could easily pull away in this game.
Yeah, absolutely, Mike. Couldn't agree with you more on that point, too. I mean, all the momentum in the world right now in favor of the Jeannette Jayhawks. And by the way, this is game one of 2 games here today. Our second game you can hear exclusively right here on the Triblive High School Sports Network. Coming up at 6 o'clock tonight in Class 2A. The number 1 seeded Steel Valley Ironmen, they're 11-0. They will play the number 2 seeded Washington Little Prexies. They're 12-0 as well. What a great game that's going to be here at 6 o'clock tonight. Matt Vandriek and our friend Steve Nagler will have the call for you here on the network a little bit later this evening, so make sure you have it tuned in here all day long. We'll have video of that game as well.
Yes, as well.
And we want to thank Jess Levo, who is up high here at RMU videoing the game, and she brought up a good point here at halftime. Mike, we're talking to Jess a little bit here, and she talked about the wind factor. Very windy conditions as it's gotten cloudier here. We have some rain moving in, I believe a cold front a little bit later here today, so the temperature's dropping, the wind's increasing, you can see it. Thinking that
the wind is getting worse, there's no doubt.
Yeah, that's playing a factor out there, and you could see the
and we didn't think about that on that one pass play. She said the wind blew the ball back. We didn't catch that, but you're looking at the flags, and we watched the kids in the band, their hats, their tassels, and the wind is really blowing toward us. It's kind of blowing right to left, and it's pretty strong, and that's probably affecting the passing. And we probably, since we're not in the elements, we really aren't commenting on it. She brought up a good point. So that could be something that affects this the rest of the way down, too.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's increased, too. And I noticed really during the first half it was moving from right to left, but now it looks like it's moving from left to right here from the press box. So
another thing, too, we got some time. Imani, we've seen Israel Reed a couple times, nice run. We haven't really seen him air it out. We've seen Tawan Wesley throw a little bit. They haven't really thrown the ball. Watkins has been used running the ball. Saw Jackson once on the side, but really Jackson, Fairley, and Hart, guys that usually break games open for them, they're really not getting the ball as much as they're used to.
We barely called them.
And the thing that really makes me question is the first play of the game, they threw that out past to Jackson, and he gets, 20 yards? They did that once, and then they quit doing it altogether, Ed, which usually that's their game. Get it to a skill guy, whether it's Reed, Jackson, Watkins, Wesley, Fairley, Hart, and others. Get it to a skill guy on the outside, get some blocks, and get your yardage. That's what we see them do all year long. After that first play, they went away with it exclusively running with Watkins up the middle, and they went away from all their skill guys after they got the lead. It's like they got conservative. And usually they're not that way. Usually they're the type of team, as is Jeannette, that just when they get you down, you put the foot on the gas and go for the kill. And they went away from that. And I kind of think when they did that, then they threw the interception, and all of a sudden they brought Jeannette back into the game. And you don't do that to a good team. Now Jeanette's got the lead, and I don't understand if you shouldn't go away from what got you here.
Right. Yep, if it isn't broke, don't fix it type of mentality. And, you're all the way, playing here for a WPIAL championship, Mike. So I tend to agree with you. You got to continue to work with the things that brought you here, the successes you've driven on all season long, especially here in the playoffs, too, these last 3 weeks. If those are the guys that got you here, you have to get back to that here in the second half, I think, if you want to have a chance.
Because you can't afford to go 3 and out,
to
good
way.
teams. I mean, even if you drive and pin them, Imani had field position the whole first quarter, and they screwed that up. Yeah, even if you're not scoring, you got to get field position. And Jeannette, the same thing. Jeannette gets a lead. They kick the ball right to Imani. It's like they're doing things, both teams are doing things to bring the other team back in. It's that pinball type of game. You score, I score, let's just try to outlast each other and, punch, counter punch like you do in boxing. But, let's just, for either team's sake, they got to play a more consistent game here in the second half.
Howard, 5 of 8 for 132 yards, 2 touchdowns. You got Kennedy, 7 rushes for 43 yards for the Jayhawks. Meanwhile, for Imani Christian, Reed has 3 carries for 42 yards. Watkins, 11 for 38. Passing-wise, Wesley has 3 of 9 for 42 yards. Reed, only 1 pass attempt for 5 yards in that first half.
It's hard to say right now who would be the player of the game. Maybe Kennedy.
We'll have to wait and see how it plays out.
Long way to go.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have the opening kickoff to the second half here from RMU. It's the Class 1A WPIAL Championship. And our halftime score, 21-12. Imani Christian trailing Jeannette Jayhawks. The Jayhawks with the lead. You're listening to exclusive coverage of the 2017 WPIAL Football Championships only here on the new Triblive High School Sports Network.
There's a new fear, not of better options, of rising loan rates. It's real. Rates have gone up, and Dollar Bank still has one of the lowest around. With a rate as low as 3.29% APR with only $50,000 borrowed, fixed for 7 years, there's nothing to fear. You can renovate the kitchen or update a bathroom or two. So lock in your rate now before they, well, I don't want to say it out loud. If choosing the better option is your worry, you can be confident that Dollar Bank's loan experts have only your best interests in mind, since they're not paid a commission. So lock in your rate before they go up again. Get those home improvements done with a rate as low as 3.29% APR, fixed for 7 years. Longer terms are available. Stop by, call 1-800-242-BANK, or visit dollar.bank. Dollar Bank, mutually inspired. Rate is for well-qualified borrowers and includes a discount with a maintained qualifying checking account. Not available for the refinance of a Dollar Bank loan, line, or mortgage of less than $15,000 in new money. Monthly payment of $13.34 per $1,000 borrowed. Other terms and conditions apply. Subject to change without notice. Equal housing lender.
Back here at RMU, as we have the start of the second half, as the opening kickoff of the second half is taken back by the Jeannette Jayhawks, and up with the return is 22 Zach Burgick, and he brings it up to the 34-yard line, Mike, and that's where Jeannette will open up this possession here in the second half with a 21-12 lead.
You know what? I mean, it's early, and the way these teams score, you don't want to say this is so important, but back when we talked about how important it was for Jeannette to make something happen on their fourth possession, down 2 scores, and they did, I think this is really important for Jeannette again. If they can go up by another score and put them up 3 scores here early in the third quarter, I think it's going to be really tough for Imani to come back in this game. I think this is a huge, important defensive part of the game for Imani.
Seth Howard, 1st and 10, rolls out, pass complete on the far side of the football field by Marcus Barnes. He'll bring it in close to the 44-yard line, and Jeannette Jayhawk first down. Craftsmanship truly driven by your ideas. Custom furniture and cabinets, all kinds of remodeling. Call Gourmet Woodwork in Monroeville at 412-715-3984, or check them out online at www.gourmetwoodwork.com. And they are sponsoring today's first and second half kickoffs.
I'd like to thank gourmetwoodwork.com for their sponsorship.
Absolutely. First down and 10. Ball at the 44, Jeannette. Howard back to pass. Throws across the middle. Wide open. Pass complete to Trey Cunningham. He's at the 40, 35, 30. Still on his feet. Gets inside the 30 to the 26-yard line. And that is where Jeannette Jayhawks will have a first down, and they'll be knocking on the door again.
Asante Watkins bit. I'll tell you what, Howard, perfect. He faked like he was going to run as the ball was being snapped. Watkins bit on it by 5 yards. His man's wide open. Perfectly run play by Jeannette. That's a couple of we've seen them on. 28 yards on that one. Boy, I tell you what, another perfectly designed play by Jeannette. Big yardage.
1st and 10, Jayhawks, ball at the 28-yard line of Imani Christian. Howard back to pass, rolls out his right, throws across the middle, and almost intercepted, incomplete. As that was Reed on the defensive coverage. The linebacker steps up, Israel Reed.
Trying to throw to Trey Cunningham, the big 6'3" wide receiver linebacker kicker. You don't see that combination too often, do you? Hey, I want to mention someone listening, someone dear to the Trib High School Sports Network, Chicks Picks. Melissa. Listening, Jeannette grad, listening and watching. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. One of the original.
Yeah, one of the original members
of our crew. And Mike and I part of that as well. So it's nice when you get some old school folks here and you get a chance to talk about them. We got a flag down and a penalty. Or no, they're just going to call a timeout. It's Imani Christian calling a timeout. So no penalty. The Saints stopping the game here with 11:22 to go, third quarter, 21-12. Jeannette leading Imani Christian.
I would think, as I watched Ronald Hurd out there talking to his defense, you just got beat up on a play by Jeannette. Jeannette owned you in the second quarter and made a couple of big plays on offense, beating your defense and fooling you. That's the second play in, a couple of minutes that they just had a wide-open player. He might be telling him, listen, stay to your assignments, stay to your guy, don't bite for these fakes. We're going to get beat up here if we keep biting for these fakes. They're talented and good enough to beat us up. You got to stay with what we've taught you on defense. And down by 9, again, I think he realizes they need some defense here and they need to stop. But, boy, ever since the end of that first quarter, they have not been the better team on defense. Jeanette's been the better team all around.
So Seth Howard breaking his team's offense here at 2nd down and 10 at the 28-yard line. And they will go with the handoff on the right side. It's Robert Kennedy, nothing there. Bounces back to the left side, nothing there as well. Imani Christian steps up defensively. They prevent Kennedy from the kick back the other way, the cutback, if you will, and leading the charge that time for the Saints is Jerron Thompson. Once again, the junior, 5'9", 205-pound defensive lineman.
That's good. That's exactly what they did in the first half, and they sniffed that one up. Well, Kennedy, again, went left, went right, got caught back in the backfield, and a pursuit just came. And that's the thing. In a championship game like this, you can't take a play off, and I think Imani finally realized that. Maybe Ron Hurd got through to a couple of guys.
Loss of 4 on the play, 3rd down and 14 for the Jayhawks.
I think still in 4-down territory here, though.
10:38 moving, third quarter clock. Howard fakes the handoff, now throws across the middle, has his receiver, pass across the 30 to the 25, 20, 10, kick back at the 5, and down right there on the Jeannette Jayhawks. Good pass completion as it's Sanders, Imani Sanders on the reception, but a flag is down on the play.
Not sure what that's going to be. They're going to say he went out of bounds. And it looks like a hold or a block in the back or something. Yep, hold. Wow.
So that'll come back. Again, it's Imani Sanders. We've seen him on these screenplays, Mike, from Seth Howard, and he's used the speed to his credit and just been able to break it downfield and make some big plays happen. But this time, that one's coming back on the penalty.
Penalties in the first half. 6 on Jeannette for 50 yards. 3. I thought they had 4. They're saying 3 for Imani in the first half. So now that's going to be 7-3. Interesting that Jeannette cost him. Boy, that was another nice designed play. 2 receivers out there to block. Guy gets it. We've seen that play before. Well designed. The blocking is there. And, boy, if they can keep that up, they're going to move the ball.
They would have had 1st and goal just inside the 5-yard line, but instead it's 3rd down and 9 yards to go from the 27. Howard back to pass. Airs it out over the right side, and it's incomplete. Was looking for number 2, Marcus Barnes, but the coverage was there by multiple players for Imani.
Threw behind him as well, and it's hard to run, turn, and try to catch a ball as you're running one way and catching the ball the other, and just couldn't quite hit him. Hit him in the hands, but he was going the other way. Not a good throw by Howard.
Yeah. So with
that brings up 4th down. You punt here, you punt in the end zone, they get it at the 20. You punt it out of bounds, you could do that, and punt it out of bounds, try to get it inside the 10, tough to do. Or you go for it. If you don't make it, they get the ball 20, 25-yard line. That's why you go for it here. I think the good call, 4th and 10, going for it.
Yep, ball at the 27-yard line. Need to get down to the 17, do the Jayhawks. Howard, will he take it himself? No, he's going to throw it back off the right side. It's tipped in the air, and is it a live football? It's picked up going the other way for Imani. And will they call it an incomplete pass or a touchdown? No official word yet. I believe it should be incomplete. It's the same play we saw during the first half, Mike.
Ron Hurd is all over the officials right now.
But that's the R.J. Hart on the return for Imani Christian, but that's the incomplete
pass.
And here's why. We saw that in the first half, and we got an explanation on it as well, that
we're going to watch it here on video.
He's throwing it back across the field, but the eligible receiver.
Wow. Man, I tell you what, that guy's 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
And that's Ian Smith, the defensive lineman. They bring him in as an extra lineman, eligible receiver.
That's twice that play's missed. That's twice that play was missed by the officials. You know what? I mean, it's one thing. I don't know. He was clearly behind the line, and that is not a good call.
Well,
that's not an incomplete pass.
I learned my lesson from the first half when I did call it a fumble, went the other way. I waited for the officials this time, and they weren't signaling anything, so that's why I knew they were going to call it incomplete. But not saying I agree with that, Mike. I'm more on your side. It's a backwards pass, but that's the way they called it in the first half. And
I mean, you're in a championship game, and that wasn't even close. Am I wrong, guys?
Imani
wasn't
takes
even
over.
Close, but Imani's going to get the ball on the turnover on downs.
Yeah, either way, it's the Saints' ball, but it could have been 6. 1st and 10 from the 27-yard line for the Saints. They go to work, and they go up the middle this time, and it's Watkins for a minimal gain. Flag comes in right at the end of the play.
That could be a late hit.
As Watkins only a gain of about 2, maybe 3 yards. But hold up. Have to wait and see what the call here is. That was a late flag that came in right at the end.
Face mask on Jeannette. Boy, the penalties piling up against the Jayhawks. That is now 8 penalties against them to only 3 for Imani. I could have swore Imani had more than that, but the official stats are saying 8-3 now. Yeah, just those kind of penalties. When you're up by 9, Ed, you don't give them any life. Now you just give them 5 more yards, and now you're going to make it easier for them. You can't keep piling penalties up against any team like this.
That's what I was about to say. The recipe for keeping your opponent into the game, one of the first parts of that recipe are penalties, and that's exactly what's happening right now, unfortunately, for Jeannette, as they give the Saints few more yards right there. We'll call it 1st and 4 from the 34-yard line. Back to pass on the plays. Wesley, he'll throw down deep looking for a receiver. Flag is down. It's nowhere near the intended target, Ray Jackson.
That might be holding on
Flag
Imani.
is down.
That might be holding on Imani. Somebody coming in for Jeannette, I believe.
Wesley was
They're going to say
looking for
penalties
Jackson.
from both teams. It looked like Jalen Jones coming in. It looked like maybe he was held. 3 guys there trying to prevent him from coming in. Wow, we'll find out. As the official's talking to an Imani player, there's a hold on Imani. We knew that. And a hold on Jeannette. Interesting, offsetting penalties.
Yeah, so they'll replay the down again, first down and 3. 9:26 to go, third quarter, 21-12. Jeannette leading Imani Christian in this Class 1A WPIAL football championship game here from Joe Walton Stadium on the campus of Robert Morris University. Ed Troup, Mike Azadian, Josh Roundtree, James Dotson, Jess Levo. That's our crew here today helping us out. We appreciate everyone's efforts as we bring this one to you live here on the new Triblive High School Sports Network. On first down and 3, Watkins goes up the middle, wrapped up right at the 35. He'll fall forward to the 36. He'll gain 2 yards and be just shy of a first down, I believe. We'll have to wait and see where they mark it.
In the running game, run up the middle. They were successful in the first half against Jeannette's defense. The passing play, you saw that last pass, was 10 yards thrown. The wind has really picked up. So passing long downfield has not worked for Imani. It has worked a little bit for Jeannette, as we've seen a couple of pass plays go 20 yards or more in the air and then yards after catch more. But I'm kind of surprised. We'll see if Imani goes to those screen passes. We've not seen it like we did in the first quarter. I'm kind of surprised they're not going to Hart. They're not going to Watkins. They're not going to Sam Fairley.
Israel Reed now in at quarterback on second down and a yard to go. And Reed will hand it off to Watkins. He was a decoy that time as Watkins just goes right up the middle. First down yardage and more for the Saints. As he gets up to the 43, he'll pick up close to 7 yards on the second down carry and a first down for the Saints.
This is their game plan from the first quarter. Bust them up the middle, see what happens, and then maybe try to get a big play. Control the ball. They controlled the ball and kept it out of Jeannette's hands in the first quarter, took a lead. They need to get back to that, and so far it's working here in the third quarter. They haven't scored yet, though.
First and 10 Saints. They have the ball at their own 43-yard line, trailing 21-12, third quarter. Out pattern, up and high and incomplete. Sam Fairley was the intended target as Israel Reed could not get him the ball.
The throw wasn't there. And that's something that's probably affecting them more than we're even talking about. The ball was overthrown with the wind, and it just sailed on him.
Reed coming into today's game, completing 49 of 76 passes, 702 yards, 8 touchdowns, also another 6 yards on the ground. But we've seen Reed just sparingly so far in this game so far.
The big run really helped him.
Yep.
He's got a strong arm. As I said, strong arm, but he's not always the most accurate. But he does have the better arm of the 2 quarterbacks.
Second and 10 from the 43-yard line of the Saints. And they will hand the ball off the left side, trying to get to the corner, and not able to do so is number 5, Deshaun Wright. That's the first time we've called Wright a junior.
Flag after they went out of bounds, probably a late hit. You know what? I thought maybe a horse collar, but then it looked like it got called after he was out of bounds. It might be a late hit against Jeannette. Not sure. Couldn't really see it from here. We'll wait to see what the official says.
And Deshaun Wright, first time we've called his name today.
Personal foul against Jeannette.
I was just going to say Wright, a junior, 6'1", 170 pounds.
And that's something Jeannette's got to be careful of. You know, they're a physical team, Ed.
Yep.
They're known for their physicality. If you punch them in the mouth, they're going to punch you right back, you know, when you say that. But, you know, when you're up by 9, this is the second or third time we've seen this. Now they're extending the Imani drive by penalties. Now the penalties piling up. That's 10 penalties for them. You got to control your emotions when you have a lead if you want to win the championship, right?
Yeah, you got to come up with it.
Got to do it. And I think Roy Hall and the coaches have got to rein those kids in and say, hey, listen, be physical, be tough, but, man, you got to know where you're at on the field. You can't just give them yards like this.
First and 10, ball down to the Jeannette 43-yard line. Reed will take it on the keeper. He's wrapped up right at the line of scrimmage. Nowhere to go. Leading the charge for Jeannette up front is Jalen Jones, the senior.
Yeah, give Jeannette credit. They've been strong up the middle. A couple of plays here, and especially against the quarterback draw.
Yeah, Jones has been in on a lot of those plays today. It looks like, really, Mike, Jeannette's defensive line making a lot of noise in this game. They're getting a lot of push off the football to try to get in the backfield.
Yeah, they struggled a little bit in that first quarter, really played well in the second quarter. Here in the third, 50-50. They've given up a couple plays, but they've held their own. It's the penalties that are killing them right now.
2nd and 12, Reed back the pass from midfield, throws across the middle, has a receiver. It's complete down towards the first down marker, as coming up with it is R.J. Hart. Hart to the 34-yard line.
Yep. That's one of the first times we've seen that little short 10-yard pattern. And that's where you maybe have to start going if you're Imani Christian. The downfield 20 yards toward you out of bounds, throwing into the wind, really aren't. You have to go across the middle. You got to go screen passes, and they're going no huddle and keeping the Jeanette's players on the field, not giving them a chance to sub.
3rd down and a yard to go from the 34-yard line for Imani Christian. Up the middle, it's Watkins in the Wildcat formation, and he will have the first down for the Saints.
Yeah,
Gets to the 32.
See what he tried to do there. He tried the hard count, tried to get Jeannette to jump off sides. It didn't work. He eventually took the ball and got the first down, so it worked for them. The pass play set that up on the run, and that's what you like on 2nd down. Get a good pass play, and then you only have 1 yard to go. So they're moving the ball and taking up and eating up clock, which benefited them in that first quarter. So they're back to what they were doing early in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Clock winds to 6:40 to go, 3rd quarter. 21-12, Jeannette leading Imani Christian. But the Saints moving the ball here nicely on this drive. They've made it down to the Jeannette 32 on 1st and 10. Reed back to pass, out pattern, open on the play. Nice catch on the play made by R.J. Hart. He does a spin move at the 10, 5, touchdown! Imani Christian Saints.
32 yards. I'll tell you what, how about that pass play by Hart? 2 big catches for him in this drive. But, boy, Jeannette missed not 1, but 2 opportunities to tackle him and get him out of bounds. Jeannette certainly helped on that on defense by missing the tackle. But nice catch by Hart and able to get away. And they are now down 3. A 2-point conversion will put them down 1, but they really need to get the 2-pointer here.
So it's Reed to Hart from 32 yards out on the pass play, but what a play by the receiver, R.J. Hart, as he was able to break a few tackles and extend it into the end zone. Reed now will line up for the 2-point conversion. 21-18, trying to make this a 1-point game. Throws to the end zone, passes complete for the 2-point conversion, as bringing in on the play is Sam Fairley. So Fairley catches the 2-point conversion, and just like that, Mike, we have a 1-point game, 21-20, 6:25 to go. We're in the 3rd quarter. You are listening to exclusive coverage of 2017 WPIAL Football Championship coverage, only here on the new Triblive High School Sports Network.
The new Triblive High School Sports Network is the place to go every day this fall.
On Mondays, we have the latest top 10 football rankings.
Also on Monday, we check in on the former district stars now making the grade in college with WPIAL alum Q&A.
Tuesday is a look back at the biggest and best plays from the previous Scholastic football weekend with the plays of the week.
We go big game hunting on Wednesday with a preview of the top WPIAL football contests.
I'll look into my crystal ball on Thursday with the wildly popular Chicks Picks.
A complete rundown of all the games comes your way on Friday, plus plenty of broadcasts to choose from on Friday nights.
On Saturday, we'll take a look at the top performances with Friday night highlights. Then on Sunday, a look back at the previous day's high school standouts with Saturday's Scholastic Stars.
This fall, the place to go for all of your high school sports coverage every day of the week is the new Triblive High School Sports Network.
Swift kick and going to be fielded by Jeannette after the touchdown by Isaiah Winters, and he'll just cover it up just across the 40-yard line to about the 41, and that's where Jeannette will go back on offense here in the 3rd quarter. 21-20, 6:24 to go, 3rd quarter, Class 1A WPIAL championship game here live from Joe Walton Stadium, Robert Morris University. Ed Troup, Mike Azadian here with you on the network this afternoon, the new Triblive High School Sports Network. And Mike, it is the big play, 32 yards, Isaiah Reed to R.J. Hart, that has made this a 1-point game.
Yes, it has. Israel Reed has done the job.
So it's a fake by Howard on the handoff. Now he wants to just throw it, and they cannot get out to try to make anything happen. He's going to be sacked in the backfield, coming through, making the play that time for the Saints as number 4, Brian Yates, the junior.
I got to tell you right now, if they come back and win this game, boy, I don't know if he'll be player of the game, but Yates has got to be a guy.
He's been everywhere.
He's been everywhere on defense. He's been their best defensive player by far, and a big play there. Only a 4-yard loss, but Howard was running right to left and just couldn't get rid of the ball, and Reed with great pursuit.
Loss on the play of 4 yards, so second down and 14 after the sack from the 38-yard line of Jeannette. The Jayhawks line up here. They have a 21-20 third-quarter lead. Flag down on the play.
Kennedy back in at quarterback.
And now the Imani Christian fans making some noise here, as that is a procedure call. I think it's going to go against the Jayhawks.
Here's the thing. Can Imani keep this up? They did it for a quarter and then didn't for the second. Doing it here in the third, but can they keep this defense up and keep that strong offense up? They're picking the flag up. No call. You know how powerful Jeannette is. Now with Kennedy back there. With this light, can Imani keep this pressure up for the rest of this quarter and the fourth and come back and win this game? They couldn't do it in the first. Something tells me Jeanette's got some things up their sleeve to keep drives going.
Robert Kennedy in at the quarterback position. He'll take off with it to the right side. Has a blocker, tries to get to the corner, does so. He's at the 45, picked out of bounds at the 46-yard line.
Yeah, that's a pretty good run. That's not bad there. From where he was to get about 7 or 8 yards.
Yep.
Interesting. Boy, you could see his speed going around the end, and that's why he's in there. That's why they want him at many positions. Put him at running back, put him at slot back, put him at wing back, put him all over the place, and you can find ways for him to always have the ball. They've been successful with him at quarterback for a long time. They were successful when they went to him in the first half. They're going to him again.
Third down and 6 for the Jayhawks from their own 46-yard line. They lead 21-20 here in the third quarter, 5:20 to play. What a good one this is setting up to be here in Class 1A for the WPIAL Championship. Kennedy wanted to throw, but nothing there. Now he's just going to take off with it. Goes up the middle, across the 50, but it'll be short of the first down marker as he's tripped up just across midfield towards the 49-yard line. As coming up and making the tackle that time for the Saints is number 4. That's Brian Yates again.
Yates right there. I tell you what. Most quarterbacks, they're down after a couple of yards, but I got to tell you, Kennedy, nowhere to throw, goes up the middle, gets about 6 or 7 yards back to the line of scrimmage, then gets 2. Big call here. Are they going to punt? They're going to go for it. If you go for it and miss here, you give Imani Christian the ball back at midfield, down 1. The smart play says punt the ball, but I think they're going to go for it, and it looks like they are. Maybe they'll try to draw them offside. 4th
down and a yard to go. And now we have a stoppage in play.
Timeout.
Yep, timeout taken on the field. 3 timeouts remaining in the game for Jeannette, so they'll burn one here. That'll take them to 2. Imani Christian burned that early timeout here, Mike, in the third quarter.
Interesting.
They have 2 left.
They must have seen something on defense from Imani, and they decided, let's not risk it. Still early enough that you can't say this is a thing that will decide the game. But if they go for it and miss, and Imani scores, and Imani ends up winning, it's going to turn out that this could be the play of the game. Most coaches, conservative coaches, are going to punt here, get field position. You got to lead. Let's let your defense win the game. But I can see Roy Hall thinking, we've got some good players. We've moved the ball against these guys. If we can't get a yard here and keep this drive going, it's risky. But, Kennedy on his own can get a yard. I still have the feeling they'll go for it here. We'll see if they change their mind. Looks like they're going to set up to go and not punt.
4:29 to play, third quarter. 21-20. Jeannette leading Imani Christian.
And you've played aggressive all year like this, Ed. You may as well play aggressive now, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And you're playing for the WPIAL Championship. Now's the time to do it, if ever. Robert Kennedy, he'll be at the quarterback position here and needs a yard to try to keep this drive alive for the Jayhawks. Will he pass it? No. He wants to, but nothing there. So now he's going to dump it off at the last minute. Is it complete? No, incomplete.
Wow.
Turnover on downs. Imani Christian will take over at midfield as Trey Cunningham could not bring it in. It hit the turf for an incomplete pass.
That play was covered well by Imani, but I'm not sure he really had any options. There was nobody to throw to. Then he waited, and you said he looked like he was going to run. He faked to run. He came back. I'm surprised that they didn't just run around end and try to get it. Remember that. Remember that play.
So the Saints...
If Imani could score and stay up and hold the lead, that's the play of the game. 4th down at midfield.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a big risk, Ed. I don't know if I'd have taken it. I understand why he did it. Very risky.
4:23 to play here in the third quarter. 21-20. Jeannette leading Imani Christian, but the Saints will take over from their own 49-yard line. And it's Reed still in there at quarterback. Israel Reed, shotgun formation, split receiver off to the left and the right side. From the Saint 49, nope. We're going to have a whistle, and a flag is down. Jeannette clapping, appears to be possibly against the Saints. It is. Penalty against the Saints. So with that, Mike, they will mark that back, and that will set up a 1st and 15-yard line, 5-yard penalty procedure call.
6A playoffs, Pine Richland State College 14-14, almost at the half. Thought maybe Pine Richland would be, State College has a really good quarterback, but hanging in against Pine Richland, that's the first time all year that's been that close for them.
So Reed back to pass. He's going to air it out deep off the left side, looking for a receiver. And is there a flag down on the play? I'm not sure, as it goes incomplete. No flag, as the intended target was Ray Jackson. He was double covered, and somebody's down there
Cameraman
on the far
and the
sideline.
officials. A cameraman too close to the field, and the official that was right there, and a cameraman collided. Everybody's got to do their job, but sometimes you're a little too close, and the official says, back. Get back behind the line, Mr. Cameraman. Boy, that was close. I like what the Jeannette player did. The Jeannette player just put his hands up and waved and didn't touch the player. And no contact, so a good no call there. No contact. Jeannette did a good job of coverage.
Everybody appears to be okay, so that's good news there. 2nd down and 15. Reed, he'll just go up the middle with it. Takes it on the keeper across the 50, gets over to Jeannette territory to about their 48-yard line. He'll pick up close to 8 yards, Mike, on that run. And it'll be 3rd and 8 upcoming for the Saints.
Yeah, it's going to bring up, though, 3rd and 15. So still, if they choose to go for it, they've got 2 downs to make 8 yards, 7 yards here. They're going to say 8.
And they're going to spread the field out, will the Saints here, as Reed barks out the signals. Now they're going to put Reed back out. Now he's going to go to the slot receiver position. Interesting formation here, Michael.
Yeah, they got 2 wide, 2 left, and they've got Watkins and Reed in the backfield.
Now they bring Reed back in. I thought they were going to go Wildcat with Watkins. They showed that, but they didn't go with it. Pass complete across the 20 or 35 to the 30. Up with it is number 11. That's R.J. Hart. 1st down, Saints on the pass completion. Reed to Hart.
Hart's made some big catches, hasn't he? A couple of big catches in traffic in the middle and the touchdown catch. And that time they used Watkins to block. And that's the mark of a really good, talented player. Be unselfish, not always get the ball, block for your quarterback, did make a good block, and then Hart catches the ball as Hart comes across in traffic. Wow, that was a big-time throw and a big-time catch.
Takes it to the 31-yard line of Jeannette, 1st and 10. Imani Christian trailing 21-20 here in the 3rd quarter of this WPIAL Class 1A championship game. It's Watkins. He'll dive forward inside the 30 down to about the 27-yard line. He'll pick up 4 yards on 1st down.
Not afraid to get the tough yards, is he? He's not the biggest guy in the field. They've got him listed at 5'11", 145. He's not that big of a player. He really isn't. But there is Division I schools looking at him, and they're hoping he grows a little bit and comes into his own, but he's got the speed and the moves.
2:35 winding 3rd quarter clock. 2nd and 6 now for Imani Christian. They have the ball at the Jeannette 27-yard line. Reed fakes the handoff. Now pump fakes, nothing there. He's in trouble. Reed's going to try to get out of it. Back across the 40. Throws across and has a receiver. It's Hart. Hart catches it at the 25-yard line, but a flag is down on the far side of the football field.
Might be holding on Imani. That's on Imani.
I
give Reed credit for getting away from that and getting a couple of yards out of it, but that's going to come back. Pretty sure.
Everybody kind of stopped Mike, and I think everyone knew that was, regardless, that play could have resulted in 6 points, and it didn't matter. It was coming back either way. Hold against the Saints. So instead
penalty starting to pile up on them.
Yeah, they would have had a 3rd and probably about 4, maybe 5 yards, but instead it'll be 2nd down and long upcoming for the Saints.
They got that way back. They got it from where it occurred. So they're saying the hold occurred at the 31-yard line. That knocks them back to the 41. So that now will be 2nd and 20?
Yep. Yeah,
you got to take it where it occurred.
Yeah,
2nd and 20. So now that backs them up. Boy, I tell you, just playing so well, moving the ball, threatening, and then a big penalty takes them back, and they're going to move it to the other hash. Interesting why they do that.
And ball to the 41-yard line. So as
that knocks them back.
Mike said, they need 20. They need to get down to the 21 to convert.
That knocks them back 14 yards from the original line of scrimmage because after that big play by Watkins. So now they're going to need 20 yards in 3 plays.
Reed with a 5-wide receiver set. They've spread out the entire field, have the Saints.
No blocking for him.
Reed. He has a blitz, and it's going to be knocked away. Nice play that time coming through for Jeannette, number 80. Anthony Johnson, the junior, 6'5", 205.
And I love what Jeannette did there. Jeannette sees, hey, listen, there's nobody blocking for him. He's on his own. Let's go after him. And that's exactly what they did. They went right after him, forced him into a bad throw. That's what you do when you're a good coaching staff. You see something, you get a signal to a player, nobody blocking, go after him. They yell out a set play, boom, 2 guys coming, 1 guy gets it. So big defensive play by Jeannette. Now 3rd and 20.
Ball at the 41-yard line of Jeannette. The Saints, again, need to get down to the 21-yard line to try to convert to a first down. Big rush and wrapped up right at the original line, or the line of scrimmage that time. On the reception was Watkins. He had nowhere to go, as coming through was Cunningham for Jeannette.
You know what? They designed it as a screen. There were guys coming. We got a guy on the field down. We'll try to identify him in a second. He's trying to get up for Jeannette. But there were guys coming. Jeannette went right after him again. He made the pass play, but he threw it to Watkins, who had a guy on him, and back to the 40. Now it'll be 4th down and more manageable, but still a long way to go. I don't know if they'll punt here. Is that Ian Smith?
That's Ian Smith. He is down on the play for Jeannette. And everyone's out there to take a look at him.
No, and Imani. The smart play says you're down 1, a minute to go in the 3rd quarter. You pin them, you play your good defense, then you get the field position battle now, and you play for later on in the game. But the offensive mentality of all year long, and that's something that gets teams in trouble, Ed. I think all year long you're playing against teams that don't make the playoffs. You're playing against teams you're winning 40-0 and 50-10 or whatever. You play that offensive game, 4th and 20, we'll go for it here.
Right.
And it's successful all year long. But now you're playing Jeannette, you're playing Clayton, you're playing Cal, you're playing the better teams. You got to get away from that. I think they should punt here because try to pin Jeannette as best they are. It looks like they're going to punt.
Yeah, they're in the formation. Their punter is into the game, and that's Jackson. He stands at the 50, gets it away, and
not as good a punt as you would have wanted there.
That's going to go out of bounds, and we'll see where the official will mark it.
Probably about the 25-yard line, I'm guessing. Yep, about the 25-yard line, 26, 27, 27. Interesting, Ed. They rushed that, and really, thinking about that, they're going to gain 13 yards. That's it. If you go for it and miss, okay, they got it at the 40, but the punt wasn't as good a punt as they could have gotten. You get a better punt, you pin them. That's not exactly the best punt you want to see. But
Ronnie Hurd definitely wanted a better punt than that out of his kicker, Jackson.
I don't think that's exactly the way they wanted it, but they do have field position. Now it's up to Jeannette to try to move the ball, and if not score, then win field position back. They have the lead.
First and 10, Jayhawks, minute 7 to play from the 3rd quarter. It is a 21-20 Jayhawk lead. Howard back to pass, pushed out of the pocket to the right. Nothing there. He's under pressure, and he's going to be sacked back at the 15-yard line. Fumble on the play, and Imani Christian has it. The Saints come up with a fumble recovery as making the tackle was R.J. Hart. And the Saints are back in business at the 15-yard line of Jeannette.
Hart with a touchdown. Hart with a big tackle. Hart with a fumble recovery. 2nd turnover for Jeannette. It is a fumble. It's their 2nd. They didn't pay for going for it on 4th down. Okay, but now the turnovers, they're going to pay for a turnover here. And oh my, Imani Christian knocking on the door. That is a big, big turnover.
The Saints 1st down and 10 at the Jeannette 15-yard line. 57 seconds to play here in the 3rd quarter. And again, coming in, Imani, their defense averaging 20 points per game, 1 shutout. 3 other games they held opponents to 7 points or less during the regular season. And here they've now made a turnover happen in their favor and knocking on the door down by 1.
Got to score here if you're them.
Reed up the middle. He'll go towards the 11, maybe the 12-yard line.
They'll give him the 11.
Yep, forward progress.
11. Well, one official's at the 12, the other's at the 11. Interesting. But
and I called it both ways, Mike, so I'm good either way.
Got it. Yeah, exactly. You have to score if you're Imani here. They got the ball at midfield after the 1st down, non-conversion by Jeannette, couldn't score. They cost themselves now. They've got to be able to put the ball in the end zone if they want to win. You got to take advantage of another team making mistakes and not holding on to the ball. And Kennedy stripped of the ball by Hart, and Imani knocking on the door. They can get a 1st down before a touchdown here.
2nd down and 6. They do give them 4. Reed down to the 11-yard line. This could be the final play of the quarter. Up the middle, it's Watkins. He dives towards the end zone. Does he have 6? He does. Touchdown, Imani Christian from 11 yards out. And that is...
Boy, he's a bull. He's a small kid, but, boy, he will not be brought down. If he's really 145 pounds, which I think he's probably bigger, but, boy, he just bulls ahead. In addition to speed, he's got strength. He just took a couple of guys with him, Ed. Really surprising there. I don't know. Jeannette they had him, and they just let him get bowled over by that. That's just surprising to me how he scored on that play.
9 seconds to go here in the third quarter, and it's Watkins from 11 yards out, 26-21. Imani Christian leading Jeannette now in this game.
5-point lead. This is big here. This is huge here. You get the 2 points. Now you got 7. You force Jeannette to kick the tie. You don't make it. Jeannette could get a lead without the 2-pointer. This is big.
Reed here with just 9 seconds to go in the third quarter, trying for 2. Throws to the end zone. Has a receiver. It's caught. Was he in? Yes!
Oh, my.
2-point conversion. Good to Sam Fairley. So Reed hits Sam Fairley for the 2-point conversion. As Mike said, a very important 2-point conversion here late in the third quarter because it makes the score 28-21. It's a 7-point lead for Imani Christian, who has owned this third quarter.
Yes, they have. Yes, they have. You're going to keep it here to go to the end of the third quarter? Yeah.
Yeah, let's just keep it here till the end of
You know what, Ed? I mean, we saw 6A, a blowout, 5A, a decent game, 4A, a blowout, 3A, a defensive game that was kind of weather-related. But out of 5 championship games so far in 2 weeks, this is probably the best one.
Absolutely. It was that way on paper, Mike, coming in. We just thought maybe it would be higher scoring, but This has been your classic, just duke it out. We're
exactly.
in the 20s.
We've seen both teams with some stupid penalties. Both teams make mistakes to help the other team get back in. Imani on defense in the second quarter, just 2 horrendous plays to let them get back and to let Jeannette take the lead. Defensive mistakes. Jeannette not playing good defense in the first and third quarter, but they owned the second. I think Jeanette's got a long way to go. This game's far from over, and I think we're going to see some more points from both teams.
Imani Christian now 16 unanswered points in this third quarter.
Yep.
Remember, Jeannette had 21 unanswered
it's amazing.
in the second.
That's amazing. One team has owned 2 quarters. The other team won. I have a feeling Jeanette's got a lot more to say about this. Can Imani keep doing this for the rest of the game in the fourth quarter? That's the big question.
Jackson's kick taken back at the 18-yard line for Jeannette. Up with it is Zach Bergenick, and he gets up across the 35-yard line up to about the 33, and that's where Jeannette will still run one more play here in the third quarter, 3 seconds.
And the big bugaboo for Jeannette turnovers. The fumble was recovered for a touchdown, and then the fumble led to the touchdown. So 2 turnovers for Jeannette, both directly led to scores. The interception that Imani Christian threw led to Jeannette. So the turnovers right now, +1 for Imani, and that is the difference in this game.
3 seconds to go here in the third quarter, 28-21. Imani Christian now leading Jeannette as the Jayhawks will line up here for the final play of this third quarter. And they will go with a 4 wide receiver set, and it'll be Howard on the keeper, and goes nowhere. I mean, nothing happening. Leading the charge, coming in, making the tackle for Imani Christian was Isaiah Clark. He's a junior, 6'4", 260 as the third quarter comes to an end. You are listening to exclusive coverage of the 2017 WPIAL Football Championships with our score at the end of 3, 28-21. Imani Christian leading Jeannette, only here on the new Triblive High School Sports Network.
Who showed you how to get to Sesame Street and took you to visit Mr. Rogers' neighborhood? WQED. And now, WQED and PBS Learning Media can help you travel through space, get an up-close look into Vietnam, and be in the front row of a Broadway show. In collaboration with local school districts, community organizations, and local libraries, WQED continues to create experiences that remake learning for students, teachers, and lifelong learners. For more info, visit WQED.org and begin your adventure.
I like catching fish with my son, but I sure don't like a health plan that comes with a catch. That's why I'm good with Gateway Health for medical assistance. They give us access to the highest quality health care from the doctors and hospitals that we want. And when you have something that good on the line,
you don't let it get away.
I'm good with Gateway.
Go to I'mGoodWithGateway.com to find out why so many people say
I'm good with Gateway.
It's the grand opening of Freedom Pizza and Deli located at 10339 Perry Highway in Wexford. Satisfy your cravings for gourmet pizza, wings, rolls, burgers, calzones, wraps, gyros, hoagies, sandwiches, wedgies, and pasta. Dine in, take it out, or get free delivery. Open 7 days a week serving Wexford, Franklin Park, Ingomar, McCandless, and Bradford Woods. Freedom Pizza and Deli located on 10339 Perry Highway in Wexford. Call 724-719-6751.
Mark. Ed Troup and Mike Azadian here with you on the new Triblive High School Sports Network. We begin the fourth quarter with Jeannette with the football. Howard takes a big hit after he threw that ball, and it's in and out of the hands, incomplete. Was intended for Robert Kennedy. He had it, but it got knocked loose. Defensive coverage made by Deshaun Wright. But more importantly, back here, Howard appears to be okay. He took a shot, Mike.
Yeah, he did.
After the end of that play.
And he took a shot on the tackle at the end of the third quarter. Couple of people we want to mention. Thanks for listening. Brian Zarenda, our friend from Sarah Catholic High School, their baseball coach, big fan of the network, and thanks for listening. Bill DiBaldo, the athletic director of Seton LaSalle. Thank everybody for listening in, all the fans from Jeannette, the Imani Christian folks, and just the friends of the network, friends of ours. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate you letting us know you're listening.
And great job today, Josh Roundtree, James Dotson, and Jess Levo filming for us here today. Jess doing a great job out in the windy conditions here from RMU. As Howard scrambles on 3rd and 13, he might get back to the original line of scrimmage. That's about it. It'll be 4th down upcoming for the Jayhawks.
The play, the series after you give up a touchdown, after you fumbled, you want to be able to play well on offense and at least move the ball. And Jeannette hasn't done that here. And now the momentum has swung back. You mentioned 2 quick scores by Imani. That fumble really has thrown Jeannette for a loop. They didn't play good on defense, and now they've got to give the ball up, punt the ball.
28-21, Imani Christian leading Jeannette here in the fourth quarter as the kick by Cunningham is away. Jackson takes it back at the 26-yard line, up across the 35-40, still on his feet 45, and wrapped up right at midfield. Imani Christian will have good field position here with 11:05 to play in the game. And a 28-21 lead. Mike, interesting, Imani outscores Jeannette 12-0 in the first. Jeannette outscores Imani Christian 21-0 in the second. And then Imani Christian outscoring Jeannette 16-0 in the third. So first and third quarters owned by Imani. Jeannette a big second quarter.
And now,
who wins the fourth?
And I don't know. And now Imani has a chance to go up by 2 scores here with the ball. And Jeannette, again, they punt right to the return man who gets 20 yards on the return. Well, he won't get 20 because you got to count from where the ball was punted. But from where he caught the ball at the 25, they're up to the 47. He gets 22 yards from where he caught the ball. They're at midfield. Why do you kick to the return guys with these speed guys for Imani Christian? It doesn't make any sense to me.
Israel Reed, the 6'1", 200-pound junior quarterback in there. He's played most of this second half. Taiwan Wesley, we saw him in the first, and now out of the backfield with a flag down is Watkins. He'll get across the 50, and that's about it.
That's going to go against Imani, I think. I think Imani offside, shift, something wrong. They took forever to get the play going.
Anthony Johnson on the tackle for Jeannette. Good, Mike.
And direct snap. And the coaches were screaming at Reed and Watkins.
Yeah, false start against the Saints. And again, we talked about Jeannette making a lot of these penalties, Mike, that kept Imani in this game earlier. But now it could be Imani keeping Jeannette.
4. To my count, they both have 4 here in the second half. Well, Jeannette still has more penalties, but that's going to cost them. It's going to knock them back and make it 1st and 15.
Yeah, so Imani Christian with a 28-21 fourth quarter lead, 10:53 winding fourth quarter clock, and they have a 1st and 15 from the 43-yard line. Israel Reed, the junior quarterback, taking all the time off the clock that he can before he gets the snap of the football. Still 9 seconds left on the play clock. Wisely so. Now he takes it and gives it to Watkins. No, he's going to fake it to Watkins and up the middle. Good fake at that. Reed, he faked me out. He's faking the rest of the Jeannette Jayhawks out. Wow. He gets all the way down to the 25-yard line of Jeannette. What a play fake to the running back who was right beside him, Watkins. He's given the ball to Watkins most of the day except for that time.
And I think the Jeannette players kind of bit on that a little bit, but Reed's got such a burst of speed, and you've seen that from him before. Yep. A couple of big plays early by him in the second quarter, in the first quarter, now second. Now he seems to be the primary guy over Taiwan Wesley. Reed seems to have taken control of this game. Now interesting formation here for Imani.
1st down and 10. Wildcat for Watkins. He'll just take it himself up the middle, gets down to the 21. He'll pick up 4 yards on the play. Does Asante Watkins.
Third quarter stats in. Wow, virtually even. Jeannette with 215 yards on 38 plays. Imani with 46 plays, 218. Virtually even there. Rushes, Jeannette with only 12 yards rushing. Imani with 108. Passing, Jeannette leads it with 203 to 110. Time of possession still Imani, 20-55 to 15. And penalties. 9 for Jeannette for 80 yards, 5 for Imani. Wow.
Watkins again out of the Wildcat. He fumbled the snap, got it back, but goes nowhere. Hit in the backfield for a loss, coming through, making the tackle. 51, Ian Smith for Jeannette. He's back out there. He was shaken up earlier. It'll be third down upcoming for the Saints.
Yeah, you know what? Jeanette's defense breaks. Big yard. They've given up a couple of big plays, but they've held a few times. This is so important here because even if Imani doesn't get the 11 yards in the next two and doesn't score, Jeannette has to go a long way. More than capable with 9 minutes to go. But Jeannette really needs to hold here. I don't think they can afford a touchdown here because now you're going to have to come back, count on mistakes by Imani, count on a turnover, and Imani's going to draw this clock out a little bit, Ed, is what they're doing now. This is a big third down.
8:50 winding fourth quarter clock. 28-21, Imani Christian leading Jeannette. Class 1A WPIAL championship game. Reed back to pass. Looks off his left side. He fumbles the football, and Jeannette has it.
Yep.
The Jayhawks have it at the 35-yard line.
Well, a big man comes in, and that is Jalen Jones. We've called his number a few times. And, he came from the blind side. We're both watching, and I'm wondering, does he get rid of the ball? Does he get hit? As he's drawn back to throw. Not in the throwing motion. As he's drawn back to throw, he gets hit. He fumbles. Huge play by Jeannette defense and Jalen Jones. A fumble, and that is their first fumble, their second turnover, and now the turnovers are even. And can Jeannette do something with it? 8:38 to go, down 7. More than capable of of coming back in this game, but that is a huge play right there. If they can convert on third or fourth down, they can get that ball in the end zone and maybe put this game out of reach, but instead the fumble puts Jeannette right back in the game.
Howard fakes the handoff, now rolls out to his right. He's under pressure and sacked in the backfield.
Face mask.
Multiple flags come through. Jackson gets the sack for Imani Christian.
Yep. That's going to be a face mask on Yates. Two guys came in. Howard moved. He went to grab, and he moved right into it. Not really intentional, but one of those things where the hand was out to try to get him, the face went into it. It's got to be the call. Good call by the official. I think that's what it's going to be. Should be. No. Yeah, face mask. That's it. That's the call.
Personal foul, face mask is the call. Sorry there, Mike.
Yeah, you're good. All right. Yeah, I mean, that's big. That's huge for them.
Yeah, it's a big break for Jeannette.
10 yards. More than that, 15 yards. Wow. They're going to call that one intentional. Interesting. I thought he kind of moved into it, but either way, it's a face mask. Jeannette benefits. Another big penalty, this time against Imani Christian, and now their penalties are starting to cost them. It's amazing how the penalties have drawn the other team into the game.
First down, 5 yards to go from the 40-yard line of Jeannette. The Jayhawks from their own 40. Oh, movement up front.
Oh, boy.
Imani moved early.
Oh, boy.
And that's
it's amazing. It is amazing how this game, each team has done this, Ed, where the other team is down, the other team seems to be on the verge of a knockout punch, and a penalty brings them right back into the game. Every time you think it's going to be Imani ready to put the nail in the coffin, they cause themselves problems. We saw that from Jeannette a couple of times. It's back and forth.
First and 10, Jeannette Jayhawks from their own 45-yard line. And that's Kennedy, Robert Kennedy in the quarterback. He goes off the right side across the 50. Boy, he's got some speed.
Yeah, he does.
Out of bounds.
He took 5. He took what would have been a 1-yard gain or a no gain into a 5-yard gain.
I mean,
that fast.
As soon as Kennedy gets to the edge, look out. And fortunately for Imani Christian, he stepped out of bounds just across the 50-yard line to the 48.
It's amazing in a game like this that how many times a penalty has really helped the other team on the verge of being out of the game. You're knocking on the door. You get a first down. Even if you don't score, you pin them back, and you cause them to go 90 yards to score, if not come back in the game. Now your back's against the wall. They're ready to go in to score and tie or go ahead in the game.
So now Jeannette facing a 2nd and 3, and Kennedy's going to throw it and completes it for a Jayhawk first down across the 40-yard line down to about the 36 on the receptions. Number 2, Marcus Barnes.
Barnes had a couple of big catches, a big couple of plays in this game, and Imani Christian, and that's something that I think they did well in the first and well in the third, was play the strong defense. But the fact that most of these guys are playing on both sides of the ball, do they have enough strength at the end of the second and the end of the fourth? And I don't think Jeannette is the better conditioned team right now. They're the better team in the second and fourth quarter.
Clock winds to 7:48 to play in the game. 1st and 10, Jeannette Jayhawks. Kennedy goes up the middle, across the 35, down to about the 31-yard line. He'll pick up 5 more for the Jayhawks as they trail 28-21 here in the fourth quarter.
Really, really think that, again, it is hard when you don't have a big roster. They've got some kids on the field for Imani that aren't playing, so they got a bigger roster than before, but not as many kids contributing, and I think the depth of Jeannette is really helping here in this quarter.
You can see Imani, they're rotating guys in and out every single play, trying to keep up here in the fourth quarter. 2nd and 5, Kennedy, nothing up the middle, so he cuts it to the left. Here's the speed, 25-20, 15-10, Kennedy out of bounds. 1st down, Jeannette Jayhawks. And again, Mike, that's the speed of Robert Kennedy, the product of the Jeannette Jayhawks.
You know what, and again, those are the kind of plays that got blown up that guys from Imani would have been in the backfield. But now, again, they're tired. You see guys hands on hips. Look at the offensive linemen. They're winded a little bit. They're not getting the push they did in the first quarter or the third quarter. Defensively, the line play is better for Jeannette now. Really believe the depth and how tired Imani is getting is really helping Jeannette. They're pushing for the tying touchdown here.
With Kennedy going out of bounds, stops the clock at 7:07 to play in the game. Again, our score 28-21. Imani Christian leading Jeannette. Jayhawks, 1st down and goal from the 10. Kennedy tries to get out to the right side. Avoids 1, avoids 2, 3, 4 tacklers. Gets down to the 5-yard line. What a run by Robert Kennedy.
Yeah, the tough yards. We said that about Asante Watkins. How about Kennedy? Tough yards. Looks like he's going to take a loss. Pushes one guy off. Still looks like he's going to take a loss. Maybe a 1-yard gain. Pushes him off. Gets 3 or 4 yards where there's nothing. That's a combination of speed and toughness from the senior, from the leader, Robert Kennedy. This game turned for the better for Jeannette when he started getting chances at quarterback. Howard's still contributing, still a big part of this game. They're a better offensive team with Kennedy at quarterback. I think we see that.
2nd down and goal from the 5-yard line. Jeannette, they're going to go with a 4 wide receiver set, but Kennedy's just going to take it up the middle. This is the formation we've seen most of the game when Kennedy's in there, and he's going to be stopped short of about the 3-yard line. He'll get a couple yards, but it's going to be 3rd down and goal upcoming for the Jayhawks.
Interesting. I still go with Kennedy. I mean, I wouldn't pass unless I have to in this wind, but Kennedy's done it, and he's got a lot of speed. Now he's got 2 downs to make 4 yards. This could very well be the game. Because, Imani gets the ball, they can turn it over again and Jeannette come back. But they don't score here. They're still down with less than 5 minutes to go.
Look at the wind, Mike.
I know.
It's behind Jeannette's back, but it's a strong wind, and it's moving the goalpost.
I go with Kennedy. See if you can get some yards up the middle. I think Kennedy's going to have this ball on his own. I think it's all Kennedy here.
3rd and goal from the 4. Jeannette down by a touchdown, and now we have a flag down and a procedure call up front. Somebody jumped early.
Or is that a timeout? That's timeout.
Oh, we had a flag in the back of the end zone, but it is a timeout, so no penalty, and it is Jeannette taking the timeout.
You know what? I mean, this situation right here, people would say, Mike Azadian, you're crazy. 5 minutes to go, the way these teams score. But if you're Jeannette and you don't score, you pin them down, and you could still get the ball back and have enough time. Obviously, if you're Imani, you want to stop them. A turnover, of course, would be huge for Imani, but I think Imani's got to do something. They have not gone after the quarterback. They haven't pressured anybody in the backfield in a long time. They're kind of sitting back a little bit and letting Jeannette dictate what they want to do, and that has gone against what Imani did in the first and third quarter. And I don't know. If I'm Imani, I'm thinking maybe send somebody after Kennedy, because if they're going to pass, you maybe make him into a bad decision. I just think sitting back right now is not doing them any good, Ed.
I agree. I think setting things up here for Jeannette, it's going to be Kennedy, and it's going to be on his shoulders. He's the senior. He's the guy that's trying to make things happen all day long.
PIAA quarterfinal scores at the half. Third quarter, Pine Richland 21-14 against State College. At the half, Gateway up on Hollidaysburg 28-17.
So 3rd down and goal from the 4-yard line. 5:32 to play in the game. Imani Christian 28, Jeannette 21.
Same formation.
Kennedy Is he going to pass? He's going to roll out to his left side. He wants to. Fakes it. Still on his feet. Avoids one tackler, and he's into the end zone for the Jeannette Jayhawk touchdown from 4 yards out, and they are an extra point away from tying the game up.
I tell you what, we've seen that same formation. They run straight ahead. We see him run left like he's going to fake. They had a beat on him, and, boy, real close. One of the players just had too many Jeannette players in there blocking, and I wasn't sure who it was. It might have been Yates. And just could not get to Kennedy. And, boy, Kennedy's just too darn good.
And here comes the big extra point try for the Jeannette Jayhawks and Trey Cunningham. Try to tie this Class 1A WPIAL championship game up at 28 apiece with 5.5 to go. We'll see if he can do it here. Snap is down. Kick is up, and it is good. We are tied at 28 apiece as we have the 5:25 mark remaining in the game. You are listening to exclusive coverage of the 2017 WPIAL Football Championships only here on the new Triblive High School Sports Network.
The team at UPMC Sports Medicine doesn't just rebuild wrists and knees. They build better athletes. Athletes at every level who want to get stronger and faster and prevent injuries. Fact is, no other sports medicine program in the region is more experienced when it comes to treating, training, and inspiring athletes. UPMC, the official healthcare provider of the Penguins, Steelers, and you. Find out more at upmcsportsmedicine.com.
Ed Troup and Mike Azadian here with you on the new Triblive High School Sports Network. And, Mike, we're tied up at 28-28 after the 4-yard touchdown run by Robert Kennedy of Jeannette.
Robert Kennedy, a difference maker, a game breaker. We know what he can do all year long. He's the guy. He's the engine. And they went to a different quarterback last week and also the beginning of this week. But
Jackson from the 10 to the 15 to the 20, up with it for Imani Christian to the 25. After the Cunningham kickoff is a swib kick, kept on the ground.
And you know what? I mean, I like the fact that they used Howard and had him start in this game. But I think after the first quarter, midway through the first quarter, they realized they were going to have to make a change. And, boy, Kennedy's been a big difference. Boy, he just keeps plays alive with his legs through the touchdown pass earlier in the second quarter by keeping the play alive. Got a touchdown run by keeping the play alive. Howard's got some talent. He'll be their guy next year, but Kennedy's the big difference here. We're tied. Anything can happen here. I still wouldn't be surprised if both teams end up scoring here before this game's over. Too much time to go.
5:19 to go. Imani Christian will start this offensive drive from their own 26-yard line. First down and 10. Israel Reed, the 6'1", 200-pound junior quarterback with a 4-wide receiver set. Takes the football, and he will hand it off to Watkins. He's wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage for a loss. Asante Watkins can go nowhere. The Jayhawks all over that play defensively. Pick a number, Mike. I'll go ahead and go with 58, Jalen Jones, among others.
Jones is a guy who's really playing well up front, and he made a big play. And here's Imani Christian, who has at times dominated the line of scrimmage on the ground, done really well rushing the ball, and this time that got blown up in their face.
Loss of 4, 2nd and 14 for the Saints from their own 22-yard line. Tie game, 28-28, fourth quarter, 4:44 to go. And it's going to be intercepted back at the 45-yard line. Up with it for the Jeannette Jayhawks on the pick is Robert Kennedy. And Kennedy will take it down inside the 20-yard line. And Jeannette, the Jayhawks, in business.
That's huge. What do we say when teams are equal? What's a great equalizer? Reason why Imani was up early was Jeannette turnovers on that fumble recovery touchdown. And now why is Jeannette knocking on the door and possibly looking to take a lead? Interception. They couldn't run the ball on first down. They have dominated running the ball. They have got, as of the third quarter, 108 to 12 yards. And now forcing to pass, a team that has passed all year long, threw right into coverage against the wind. And Imani Christian in a little bit of trouble here now.
And again, it's Robert Kennedy, the big playmaker for Jeannette, that makes the play, Mike, when it matters most here in the fourth quarter.
Right now, if things continue to go the way they're going to go, he's the player of the game. And you just have a feeling right now, with him on offense leading the way, it's a matter of time before they can put it in. But Imani can still play tough on defense. They're going to have to here.
So first down and 10 from the 19-yard line. And it's Kennedy taking the ball off the left side, gets to the 15, to the corner, to the 10, pushed out of bounds at the 11-yard line. He'll pick up close to 8 yards on the first down run. Robert Kennedy.
They're so worried about him going up the middle that they're not covering the outside. Hart and others are more toward the inside, not covering the outside. Bingo, he runs outside, gets 8 yards. You got to know and trust his speed. If he beats you up the middle, then you blame your linebackers, you blame your defensive linemen. But, boy, the DBs have got to cover the outside on him, and he's cutting through and getting 8 yards on first down, and you can't let that happen.
Kennedy in shotgun formation. He has a 5 wide receiver set. See what he does here on 2nd and 1 from the 19. He'll take it himself up the middle. Gets across the 5, still on his feet. Kennedy into the end zone. Touchdown, Jeannette. 4:23 to go, and the Jayhawks have taken the lead.
But did they score too fast? They're still going to give Imani a chance. But they're starting to dominate now on offense and making it look easy. And that is a 9-yard touchdown?
I believe so. Kennedy takes it in. With 4:23 to go, that's 2 touchdowns in the matter of about a minute and a half.
Interesting. How Jeannette, both of these teams have punched a couple of scores, as you mentioned early on. A couple of scores for Imani, a couple of scores for Jeannette, 3 scores for Jeannette, a couple of scores for Imani, 3 scores for Jeannette. It's just back and forth. Jeannette taking control now.
Cunningham with the extra point. Snap is down, kick is up, and it is good. 35-28, Jayhawks now with the lead here in the fourth quarter, 4:23 to play. You were listening to exclusive coverage of the 2017 WPIAL Football Championships, only here on the new Triblive High School Sports Network.
Mark Ferry Auctioneers Incorporated. For over 40 years, we've been selling antiques, firearms, industrial and commercial liquidations, farms, machinery, and commercial and residential real estate. Named Pennsylvania State Champion Auctioneers. Members and past presidents of the Pennsylvania Auctioneers Association and members of the National Auctioneers Association. Take a look at our upcoming sales at markferryauctioneers.com. We may have just what you're looking for. Our 1,800 square feet tent can shelter 400 people. We keep a computerized and itemized record of all sales. We are licensed, bonded, and insured. Mark Ferry Auctioneers Incorporated. Check us out online at markferryauctioneers.com or give us a call at 724-423-5580.
Ed Troup and Mike Azadian, Josh Roundtree, James Dotson, and Jess Levo up high providing the video for us today here on the Triblive High School Sports Network. Mike, 35-28.
Long way to go. You got teams with offense like this. Imani only down 7. The thing could this come down to a 2-point conversion by Imani if they can score?
Cunningham's kick. We still have 4:23 to play in the game. Goes out of bounds.
Smartest play of the game so far by Jeannette. They punted twice into coverage, punted twice to the guys, and got great field position for Imani. They finally kicked away from him, and now they're going to get the ball at the wait a minute. Where are they bringing this ball to?
Now, have to see Imani Christian should get the ball here out.
They're going to give them the ball at midfield? What are they doing? Are they going to make them kick again? They're going to make them kick again. Was there a penalty?
It was a false start, it looked like, against Jeannette Jayhawks. So
interesting.
They ran too early on the kickoff.
But give credit to Jeannette for kicking it away from the skill guys. I'll give them credit for it because they didn't do it a handful of times so far in this game.
Well, I feel like that's when Imani Christian has had a lot of success offensively in this game is when they've started possessions out with really good field position.
Exactly.
When they've started deep in their own end, I feel like Jeannette has been able to really stop them.
Exactly. You're not playing the non-playoff teams in your conference. You're playing a team with good offensive talent. Why kick it to them and give them any chance? Don't give them the extra 25, 30 yards.
So Cunningham has it teed up from the 35-yard line. And that is where Jeannette will kick it off. Here we go. 4:23 to go in the game. Imani Christian down by 7, 35-28. And it's Watkins from the 20 to the 25-30. Watkins still on his feet down at the 33.
Well, that worked out for Jeannette, but still, Imani has the ball. 4:16 to go, all kind of time. You can't really afford to run too much, but I'm surprised they haven't gone back to those screens with Hart, with Fairley, with Jackson. If Imani's going to come back and win this game or even tie it, they've got to get other guys involved. They've got to get their skill players in space with a chance to break tackles. And we've seen Israel Reed do it a couple of times. We'll see if they can get it down again. We're going to go 4 wide again.
1st and 10, Imani Christian from their own 33-yard line. They trail 35-28 with 4:16 to go. Reed back to pass from his own 25, throws across the middle, looking for his receiver. It's incomplete. And now a flag comes in.
Wow.
Intended for Sam Fairley. Double covered on the play.
20 yards downfield, the official threw that one. Interesting. If that's going to be interference, I think he pulled his arm, if that's the call, unless it's holding on Imani by the guy at the line of scrimmage. Let's see.
And it was these Isaiah Winters and Marcus Barnes on the coverage.
2 officials right there didn't throw the flag. I'm not saying it wasn't a flag, but it's interesting the official from 20 yards away is the one that called it. I thought he pulled his arm. Interesting. Very interesting.
So it is pass interference is the call against Jeannette. Again, that was Winters and Barnes on the coverage.
Double coverage,
Fairley.
you're right, boy. He threw it right into double coverage. That could have been intercepted. Wow, that was a huge play. And again, the defenses, again, the penalties, bringing the other team back into the game. It's amazing.
And here's Imani Christian with good field position now at their own 48. They've done very well this afternoon.
Dangerous throwing into double coverage, though. They got to stop doing that.
And when the Saints have had the ball towards midfield, that's been when they've converted a lot of those drives into touchdowns. Long pass, and it's caught at the 40 for a first down. R.J. Hart brings it in, and that is a first down again for the Saints as they will move those chains down to the Jeannette Jayhawk 42-yard line.
R.J. Hart's had a big game. I mean, after the third quarter, Hart had 5 receptions for 67 yards. That is 6 receptions, probably about 77, 78 yards right now, and he has really done well. He's been their best offensive player other than Wesley, Reed, and, of course, Watkins.
What a game we have here for you this afternoon. Watkins takes the handoff on 1st and 10 to the 40. He's wrapped up right there. He'll pick up maybe a yard as the clock will wind to 3:45 to play in the fourth quarter. Again, our score, Jeannette 35, Imani Christian 28. What a ball game.
Yeah, it has been. We've seen it all. We've seen big bursts and big plays passing by both teams, big run plays by both teams, skilled players like Kennedy and others doing well. We've seen some big defensive stances. We've seen 5 total turnovers. We've seen a lot of penalties that have cost each team. It's been a back and forth all the way.
Clock winds to 3:19 to play in the game. 2nd and 9 for Imani Christian. They trail 35-28 here in the fourth quarter.
Boy, they're taking their time.
Reed, back to pass, gets a low snap, rolls out to his right side, throws across the field, has his receiver in Hart at the 15, 10, dives down to the 7-yard line. R.J. Hart, what a big reception.
He has had huge receptions. That is 8 for him, I believe. And that's 3 big ones across the middle. Again in the double coverage. R.J. Hart, the junior, tremendous catch across the middle.
Mike, if you're Imani Christian, you have 3 minutes left in this game. You probably want to milk most of this clock, correct?
I would think you want to, but, you got to score when you can score. I'd probably run the ball, but interesting. But the question's going to become, do you get you got to get the 2-point conversion to get ahead because they're not going to kick.
Watkins,
still got to score, though.
Watkins, yeah, they got to try to.
They're trying to draw Jeannette off sides here.
Yeah, 2:40. Looks like they do want to milk a little bit of clock here. I just, if I'm Imani Christian, I don't want to give the ball back to Jeannette before the end of this game.
What happened here? Are they going to get called for 2?
I think they're going to look for a delay of game. They're pointing to the clock. The Watkins he lined up in the wildcat position. He's pointing towards the play clock on the far side of the football field, saying, "Hey, we got it off in time."
Let's see what the official says.
It is going to be a delay of game against Imani Christian. Ooh.
Jeez, I just don't understand it. I don't understand it. You're doing so well on offense. Why do you want to kick yourself in the – oh, my goodness. I've never seen a game where both teams look like they deserve to win, but both teams look to me like, why? What are we doing? We're just trying to bring the other team in. I just don't get it. And now here they are knocking on the door, a couple of big offensive plays, a couple of big pass plays, and now you cost yourself 5 more yards. It just doesn't make any sense to me, and it just keeps happening again and again and again. The winner of this game, in my opinion, is going to be very fortunate because without the mistakes, I think the winner of this game could have won by 2 or 3 touchdowns.
They want the 25-second clock shut off? You guys don't have that, right?
So Ronnie Hurd is
why do we want to shut off? I don't get it.
Ronnie Hurd is out here, and I believe the official has a headset on. Again, the game stopped at 2:34 left. The official on a headset, so I don't know if there's some type of communication trying to go on here about the.
I don't know. Now, they seem to think that they didn't. They got the playoff in time, but they took forever. Why do you tempt fate? Why, it just doesn't make a lot of sense. I don't know what's going to happen here, but I think that they've already marked the penalty off. 1st and 7 at the 12.
Again, 2:34 left in the game. 35-28 is our score. Jeannette leading.
It's got to be 1st and 12 now at the 12, right?
Imani Christian leading, or excuse me, Jeannette leading Imani Christian, but the
now
Saints.
They go to talk to Roy Hall, and he doesn't seem to like what's going on. He's arguing. He's upset. Are they going to bring this ball back? No.
Hall is all the way out towards the middle of
We've
the.
We've already seen a couple big miscues. I don't think they're going to keep this ball at the 12. Yep.
Now they will wind the clock.
I don't know what Roy Hall's mad about. He got what he was supposed to.
Yep.
1st and 12 at the 12. 5 yards cost by Imani Christian. It's their own fault.
Saints 1st and goal from the 12. Israel Reed with a 3 wide receiver set. Back to pass. Going to throw across the middle. Looking for his receiver. It's a touchdown for the Saints.
Sam Fairley. No, Raymond Jackson.
Ray Jackson. Sorry. All right, Mike Fairley was back there too, but it was Ray Jackson that brought it in from 12 yards out.
Yeah, I thought it was 2. It was 25. He was back there. That's going to be a 12-yard TD from Reed. And, boy, Reed has just taken over the quarterback position here from Teron Resley.
So Reed hits Jackson from 12 yards out, and now the most important extra point of the season for the Saints, or will they go for 2 with 2:15 to go?
Well, and I've not seen them kick in any – I don't think I have. I don't think they kicked against Cal. I don't think they kicked against Riverview, and I know they didn't kick against Stowe Rocks. Do you put this game on – they don't even have anybody listed as a kicker on an inexperienced position that they really don't have anybody at, or do you go with what you got to do all year long is your 2-point conversion? If they don't get it, Jeannette could run the clock out, even though there are 2 timeouts left for Imani.
Jeannette took a timeout here.
Right, but Imani could have 2 timeouts left if they do not. Imani has 2 timeouts. If they do not get the 2-point conversion, Jeannette gets the ball back. You do have 2 timeouts. But in effect, this is the game right here, Ed, for Imani. Because if they take the lead, Jeannette has time to come back and score and maybe win the game. But if Imani doesn't score, unless they get the ball back on a turnover, they can only stop the clock twice. And so this, in effect, is the game for Imani Christian. 2-point conversion. Let's see what they come up with.
2:15 left in the game, 35-34. Jeannette with a 1-point lead, and Imani Christian, they're lining up to go for 2. They're going to go for the go-ahead score here late in the game.
Interesting. Reed's lining up. Watkins is back there. Something tells me Watkins with the ball. Now they move the ball hash mark to the left.
Ronnie Hurd, the head coach of Imani Christian, says we are going for the lead here in this.
I got a feeling it's going to be direct snap to Watkins. I could be wrong.
And they will go the Watkins. They give it off to the Sam Fairley. He's going to pass it now. Fairley into the end zone. It's broken up, incomplete. 2-point conversion is no good. And Jeannette will hold a 1-point lead with 2:15 remaining. What a call.
Hand off to Fairley on the sweep. He tries to pass. It's broken up. So they had a trick play designed. It didn't work. Really, you got to get the ball to your better player. I thought maybe Watkins would get it, but they decided they wanted to pass. If you're going to pass, get one of your quarterbacks to pass. Fairley hasn't passed all day long. It's into the wind, Ed. Not a wise call, and it is 35-34, and Jeannette is they're a first down away from winning this game.
2:15 remaining, 35-34 is our score. Again, just to recap that, we'll keep it right here. 12-yard touchdown pass from Reed as he hits Ray Jackson to make this a 1-point game. They don't kick the extra point. They decide to go for 2.
They don't kick. They never kick. So, again, what did we say back in the third quarter? Could this game come down to them coming back and having a 2-point conversion to win? Now, with 2:15 to go, two sides of the ball. Jeannette get a first down or 2, they win the game easy. Imani's got to stop the clock. A first down wins this game. Imani, you got to be trying to strip the ball.
And what Mike's alluding to is the first 2 scores of this game for the Saints, they went for 2 both times and failed.
Yeah, exactly.
So they just get one of those, Mike, and they have the lead right now.
Exactly.
But they
so
don't.
It comes down to the 2-point conversions. Jeannette holds on to the ball, gets a first down, they'll win. Imani's got to try to strip the ball or stop them twice with a timeout, force them to punt the ball, and get them to turn the ball over on downs. Even if they do that, Imani's not going to have a whole lot of time left.
Yeah, Imani Christian with
Or do you onside kick here? That's another thing. Do you onside kick if you're them? If you do that, you're giving Jeannette the ball at midfield. Yeah, they're going to onside kick. The way the ball's flat.
Yep, they're going to go try for the onside kick while Imani Christian.
Maybe not a bad idea.
2:15 remaining. And they will go onside. Did it go far enough? Does not appear to.
Nope.
Out of bounds. Did not go far enough.
Wait a minute. There's a flag on the play. Did an official? Did it went out of bounds, or did a coach or somebody kick that ball once it went out of bounds?
Yeah, once it went out of bounds, I think it was kicked, Mike. So 2:15 to go.
Wow, interesting. If you're going to onside kick, you got to get it 10 yards.
So Jeannette will have the ball near midfield, I believe, right?
Interesting, yeah, I agree.
So that penalty does go against Imani Christian. So now Jeannette will have the ball on the Saints side of the football field, leading 35-34 in this Class 1A WPIAL championship game here from Robert Morris University, Joe Walton Stadium.
If you can stop them on first and second down and call timeouts, it'll be third down. 2 minutes, under 2 minutes to go, and you got to hope to stop them on third and fourth. Jeannette gets a first down. This game's probably over.
Jayhawks trying to hang on for their 8th WPIAL football championship, their first one since 2007.
And again, if they win, they will tie Newcastle for most wins in the WPL all time.
That is a glaring stat right there. I mean, that is huge for the Jeannette Jayhawks here. Historic day possibly for Jayhawk Nation. 1st and 10, ball at the 47-yard line. And they will go off the left side with Robert Kennedy. Kennedy just puts a shoulder down, gets to the 40, and picks up a solid, strong gain of 7 yards on first down.
I don't think Imani's calling a timeout. No, they're not. That is interesting that they're not calling timeout. Figuring that second and third, they're going to get a first down, then call it after that. But that first down run by Kennedy is huge because now you force Imani not to call the timeout, and Jeanette's just going to burn clock, baby. And they're so smart back there, they're just taking their sweet old time.
Yeah, the Saints have 2 timeouts remaining in this game. Jeannette, 0. And they have a 1-point lead due to the Jayhawks. 1:37, a winding fourth quarter clock. Robert Kennedy, the senior, 5'10", 175 pounds, who really took over in this game here in the second half at the quarterback position, falls forward for what appears to be a Jayhawk first down.
Man, you got to call a timeout now. You have to. I can't believe they didn't call a timeout after that. Ed, they just took 40 seconds off the clock. If they call it on first down, I know that he got that 7 yards, and you're banking on, okay, he gets the first down, we call the timeout. Now we got to stop him. But now you can only stop it one more time, Ed. You got to stop it first and then stop him on defense. So they just gave them 40 seconds. I don't know what Ron L. Hurd was thinking there. I really don't. And that's still not stopping the clock. And I don't get it. Why not stop the clock?
And Roy Hall signals for a first down, and Jeannette has it. Yep, clock winds to 1:05 remaining in the game. Still no timeout, as Mike has been alluding to here from Imani Christian. They have 2 remaining in the game. And Kennedy will take it off to the left side. He's off to the races, to the 30. Dives and slides for what's going to be a WPIAL championship first down for the Jeannette Jayhawks.
And they're going to give it to him just one shy. Now they call the timeout. Yeah, I got to watch myself. I don't want to be too critical, but I don't understand where you got 2 timeouts in your pocket with 2 minutes to go and not call the timeout until 40 seconds to go. Now it's 2nd down and 1. And Jeannette gets the first down, it's over. I don't understand it. You got the timeouts, use them, and force your defense to make the big play. Give yourself a chance. Now, even if for some reason they stop them on this and you call a timeout, that'll be 3rd down and 1, and you're not going to be able to stop the clock and the game's over. I don't get it at all. Makes no sense to me at all. Those are the kind of things that cost you championships, and it just doesn't make a lot of sense. And Ronald Hurd, his team's played a great game, but you got to give your team a chance at the end of the game with those timeouts, and they didn't do it.
Timeout taken by the Saints with 41 seconds left. 35-34, Jeannette leading Imani Christian. And it was not a first down, Mike. I called it a first down. He slid, did Robert Kennedy, but he slid about a half a yard short. It's going to be
Jeannette
second and
take a knee. Jeannette doesn't even have to run the ball. And practice, to be honest with you, I wouldn't. Take a knee, let them call a timeout. Now there's 40 seconds to go. Then they don't have any timeouts. You could run the clock out. Jeannette does not have to put the ball in anybody's hands. Just take a knee if you want. Would be a smart thing to do. I got a feeling he's just going to take the ball, run in the line of scrimmage, and
Kennedy on 2nd and 1, rolls out to his left side. Been doing this all of the second half. Has the first down for the Jayhawks. Down to the 25-yard line, and Imani Christian will use their final timeout of the game.
Doesn't do a bit of good. Doesn't matter. You got 2 more timeouts. It doesn't matter. He got the first down. You didn't use them when you could have. Now with 35 seconds to go, you have no timeouts. This is going to be the last play of the game.
The Jeannette Jayhawks, WPIAL football championships in 1939, 1956, 1971, 1981, 1983, 2006, 2007 most recently. It's been 10 years, Mike, but they're going to be bringing WPIAL gold back to
Last time they
Westmoreland
won, who was a quarterback? Mr. Terrell Pryor, wide receiver now for the Washington Redskins. And I'm impressed with how Jeannette came back in this game after that bad first quarter. I'm impressed that they had an impressive second quarter. And then, of course, Jeannette to tie the game in the fourth, to go ahead in the fourth. It's not often when you got a team down twice, Ed, and you come back. But that's credit to Roy Hall and his staff, credit to these kids. They did a great job. They withstood Imani's punch, but Imani just too many mistakes, the big turnover, and it really cost them. The fumble and the interception in the fourth quarter really cost Imani, and now all they got to do is just kneel on the ball, and Jeannette is your 2017 WPIAL single-A champ.
The Jayhawk Nation making some noise as Robert Kennedy takes a knee with 32 seconds left. And that should do it here from Robert Morris University.
And that's your player of the game right there, Robert Kennedy. I mean, I think there's no doubt, and he'll be one of the guys we talk to, amongst others, and encourage everybody later on today to look at all of our center stage interviews with their coaches and players. But Jeannette, a deserved champion here today.
14 seconds remaining in the game, and the Jayhawks, I don't know if they have to take one more knee here or not.
I don't think so. I doubt it.
They've turned the play clock off here from RMU.
This game's over.
And they're going to be turning the game clock off as well. 3 zeros on the clock, and congratulations to the Jeannette Jayhawks, the 2017 Class 1A champions. And they are celebrating at midfield as they defeat Imani Christian. Your final score, 35-34.
Impressive. This is the kind of game that Imani's going to look back on and say coulda, shoulda, woulda. We had him in the first, had him in the third, but I just really believe the depth of Jeannette withstood the punches, was able to play better in the second and the fourth, and just outlasted them. And the fact that Imani couldn't convert on 3 of their 5 two-point conversions really hurt them. That and the turnover battle. The turnover battle was won by Jeannette. You add all those factors in, and that's it. On the ground, in the air, yardage about even. But the fact that Jeannette just withstood the punches, stopped them on their two-point conversion, and at the end of the game caused those turnovers, Jeannette the winner for those reasons.
We'll take our final break of the afternoon. When we come back, Mike and I will recap this one for you. But again, congratulations to the 2017 WPIAL Class 1A champions, the Jeannette Jayhawks. They will go to 13-1. Meanwhile, the Imani Christian Saints season will end at 11-3. Your final score here today, Jeannette, 35, Imani Christian, 34. We'll be back to wrap things up in a second. You are listening to exclusive coverage of the 2017 WPIAL Football Championships, only here on the new Triblive High School Sports Network.
At American Bag Centers, you got nothing to lose but the pain.
We're talking with Dr. Pete Peduzzi of American Back Centers about VaxD therapy. Dr. Peduzzi, it sounds like VaxD therapy can successfully treat a lot of disc-related problems.
Kathy, listeners need to know that VaxD is an effective treatment for herniated discs, degenerative disc disorder, foot drop, sciatica, stenosis, and even failed back surgery.
Really? So even if a patient has had back surgery and is still having problems, VaxD therapy can help?
Yes, at the American Back Centers, we've successfully treated patients who've had back surgery and are still experiencing pain. Before considering surgery, you should definitely give us a call. VaxD is safe, FDA approved, and has a high success rate for treating disc-related neck and back pain.
Thanks, Dr. Pete. Folks, if you have any of the problems we've discussed, please give Dr. Pete a call or visit the website at AmericanBackCenters.com.
At American Bag Centers, you've got nothing to lose but the pain.
People ask what drives me. It's the respect I have for my opponents, the trust I have in my teammates, a coach who treats me with dignity, and a university that has faith in me on and off the field. That's what keeps me focused, why I practice harder, play my heart out. I play to win. I play for Carlo. Tell us your story using #WhatDriveSYou.
Carlo University is a proud sponsor of the Triblive High School Sports Network.
We wrap up football and tip off basketball in December with a couple of special shows here on the Triblive High School Sports Network. On Wednesday, December 6th, we have a special tip-off edition of the Round Ball Report at 5 p.m. with the top 5 individual players, top 5 teams from each classification, and the first edition of the Trib 10 Power Rankings. Then on December 13th at 5 p.m., it's the final edition of This Week in the WPIAL as we announce the Trib 25 Football All-Star Team. Don't miss the start of basketball and the finish of football with special shows Wednesday, December 6th and 13th at 5 p.m. on the Triblive High School Sports Network.
Ed Troup and Mike Azadian here back with you as we wrap things up here in this Class 1A WPIAL championship game. Your final score again, the Jeannette Jayhawks, the 3rd seed. They go to 13-1 on the season. They win 35-34. Imani Christian, the Saints, their season ends at 11-3. They're the 4th seed. And Mike, pretty strong effort by a lot of players here today, but back and forth we went. Just to recap things quickly, Imani outscoring Jeannette 12-0 on 2 touchdowns in that first quarter. Asante Watkins, a 1-yard touchdown run, and then a 44-yard touchdown return after a fumble on the next kickoff by Sam Fairley. It was 12-0 Imani at the end of one, but then Jeannette 21 unanswered in the second quarter to take a 21-12 halftime lead. Their touchdowns were from Robert Kennedy, hitting Marcus Barnes from 18 yards out. Trey Cunningham, a 27-yard touchdown reception from Seth Howard. And then Isaiah Winters, a 51-yard touchdown reception from Seth Howard. 21-12 at the half. Imani Christian, they owned the third quarter, 16 points unanswered as Azella Reed, he goes to R.J. Hart from 32 yards out. The 2-point conversion, Reed to Sam Fairley, was good, 21-20. Then they take the lead, 28-21 on an 11-yard touchdown run by Asante Watkins. Reed again hits Fairley for the extra point. That was after a turnover to make it 28-21. They had the lead going into the fourth quarter. Then Jeannette, 2 consecutive scores by Robert Kennedy. He scores from 4 yards, and then from 9 yards out, Cunningham the extra point both times. They had a 35-28 lead, did Jeannette, here in the fourth quarter with 4:23 to go. And then Imani Christian, they score with 2:15 remaining in the fourth quarter as Reed hits Jackson on a 12-yard touchdown pass. 35-34. They go for 2. You mentioned it. They haven't kicked all year. They go for 2. They have a 2-point pass play. It fails. Jeannette stops it, makes the score 35-34. The onside kick was no good the next play, and that's it. Jeannette, they run out the final 2.5 minutes to get WPIAL gold.
A lot of factors in this game. Biggest, I think, Robert Kennedy. He's our Trib High School Sports Network player of the game. Well-deserved. In a game of equally matched teams who both have beat each other up throughout the year in this tough Eastern Conference in single way, you kind of knew it would come down to the 4 that it did: Cal, Clairton, Imani Christian, Jeannette. This game could have gone either way. And in a game with equal talent, the talent surfaced, but the mistakes. Imani made enough mistakes. Jeannette made enough mistakes. They both turned the ball over, but turnover battle won by Jeannette. 2 big turnovers in the fourth quarter by Imani Christian. The difference, if that doesn't happen, it's maybe Imani that wins this game. But turnovers and penalties really hurt Imani Christian. I think they're going to look back on this game for a long time, and it's coulda, shoulda, woulda. They had them in the first. They had them in the third. They outplayed them at times. The game was equal stat-wise, but Jeannette a little bit more depth, a little bit more experience in these kind of situations, and Jeannette holds on for the win. Imani's got to be kicking himself. Just too many big mistakes. Mistakes at the end of the second quarter to let Jeannette get that touchdown with a guy wide open. Penalties just extending Jeannette drives. When you make too many mistakes in a championship game, it hurts you. And then at the end of the game, to have the timeouts in your pocket and not use them, that hurt them too. So a lot of mistakes by Imani, a little bit more than Jeannette, and I think that's why Jeannette just was able to withstand that and then make the big plays, especially from Kennedy when it counted. Jeannette, a well-deserved WPL champion.
A lot of red, white, and blue on the field right now, and I'm not just talking about the Robert Morris colors. It's the Jeannette Jayhawks. They are celebrating at midfield on their sideline. Players, coaches, parents, community is
anybody
out there.
Who's anybody from Jeannette's out there now.
Yeah, you want to be out there now. It's their 8th WPIAL championship, their first one in 10 years since 2007.
And now tied with Newcastle for most WPIAL wins of all time. And they are going to get a chance next week to be the leading team and overtake Newcastle in their state playoff game. They got a chance to take the lead in most WPIAL wins. And then from here on out, it's going to be a race. It's going to be who.
Yeah.
That's a big accomplishment. A lot of years behind that, but still, 700 plus wins.
17 years ago, I debuted with Don Rebel and the network here with yourself up in Erie. You and I took a long trip up to Erie. And we've covered other sports, but football, I'm not sure if we've covered since in 17 years, but we have here
Are you
today.
saying I was with you in the beginning and now I'm with you in the end when you retire?
I'm not retiring
You're not
yet.
retiring?
I don't have any plans. I don't know if you do, but I enjoyed it, brother.
You
it was
may
a
have
good
to
time.
retire. No, I'm just kidding. Good game.
First time in 17 years we've done
a football
this.
game.
A long time.
Good stuff.
Good stuff. Great game. We want to thank everyone for helping us, the great folks here at Robert Morris, Imani Christian, Jeannette. I want to, of course, thank Dawn Rebel, Sam Hall's in the house as well. And, of course, here in the booth, Josh Roundtree and James Dotson doing a great job helping us out. And Jess Leva, way up top here today, providing the video coverage today. Thank you, Jess. Awesome work, as always. For my partner, Mike Azadian, Ed Troup signing off for now. Again, your final score here from Robert Morris here in the Class 1A championship game, the Jeannette Jayhawks. Big winners here today as they win it 35-34. They defeat Imani Christian and win the WPIAL championship here, their 8th title in Class 1A. That's going to do it for our broadcast coverage here today. We will see you for more coverage, continuing coverage coming up. I do have to mention this before we have to go off the air. Coming up, remember, stay tuned here on the Triblive High School Sports Network at 6 o'clock as the Steel Valley Ironmen, 11-0. They take on the number 2 seeded. They're the 1 seed, by the way, the Ironmen. The number 2 seed, Washington Little Prexies, they're 12-0. That game right here on the Trib High School Sports Network at 6 o'clock tonight. Matt Vandriak and Steve Nagler will have the call for you here from RMU. Have a great evening, everyone. Again, congratulations to the Jeannette Jayhawks, the Class 1A WPIAL football champions.
You have been listening to the 2017 WPIAL Football Championships only here on the Triblive High School Sports Network, sponsored by UPMC Sports Medicine,
I was like this.
by Carlo University,
Hello, friends. Jim Nance, along
by
with the quarterback,
AstroTurf,
Tony Romo.
by Dollar Bank,
Hello, friends.
by Chick-fil-A Robinson, by WQED, by Adrian's Pizza, by Gateway Health, and by Trib Total Media. You can follow today's winners next week by logging on to www.tribhssn.triblive.com. The preceding has been an exclusive presentation of the Triblive High School Sports Network.
Broadcasting more than 2,000 games live and archived in 15